All right, we are live, you guys. Welcome back, all of you. Hopefully, you had a great week. I got Bree on the line.
Hi everyone, happy Friday.
Yes, now Trish and Keish will be on a little bit later. They're trying to play catch up with the soaps. It's been busy. And we got a little bit of bittersweet news today as well. So,
Oh no.
yep, yep. So, yeah, we'll get started and then they'll hop on as, they get become available. All right.
Okay.
All right, so welcome you all to Soap Corner Talk, where Bree, Keish, Trish, and myself, T, will be recapping both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful for the week of September 9th through the 13th. We had a lot going on. Young and the Restless was consumed with Lucy and Sharon most of the week, and Bold was consumed of Hope and her shenanigans, so, and Steffy too, so.
Yeah, pretty much. Consumed with a lot of fake nice people and clinically dumb people on both shows, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, but you know what? We gotta break it all down. But before we do, how many people in the chat, Bree?
ooh, there's been 50 people. Wow, that was fast.
Woo wee! They get
It
in
went from
here.
it went from 34 to 50 in a blink. I was like, woo, you guys were ready.
I know, I know. Do everybody know what today is as well?
Yes. Everyone's superstitious.
It's Friday the 13th.
Usually they have. I was surprised it was like this late in the year for that to happen. It's usually like twice throughout the year. I know for last year it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So I don't know if anybody heard that. Did you hear that sound effect?
No.
Okay, I said it was Friday the 13th, and then I played a sound effect. I'll play it again. Okay, well, maybe that's the wrong one. Sorry. I was trying to do a monster roar and it gave me something else. Anyway, just trying out this new soundboard. I'm trying to see how I can integrate this into some of the videos, but okay.
Oh, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yes. She said, a parent said, not the sound effect. Hey, I was trying to be I think I pushed the wrong thing. I'm getting used to this thing. I think it's pretty cool. I was playing with it earlier when I finally got it, I guess, set up as a soundboard, a little soundboard or whatever. Sandra said she heard it. Marcus said that sound
Oh,
effect was terrible.
oh wow. Look, I didn't hear it. I think because I'm on the other thing, but if they
Right.
can hear it on the YouTube side, that's fine.
Yeah. I know they can probably hear it over there. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and we're going to start with the Young and the Restless for the week of September 9th through the 13th. I'm going to give you guys a breakdown and then we'll unpack the storylines, okay? All right. Hold on one second. Let me pull up my phone works, right? Okay, here we go. All right, so here we go. So Lily gives Victor the goods on Billy, and Kyle stumbles upon dirt on Audra. Sharon squares off with Phyllis over Lucy, and squares off with Lucy and Daniel, and Nick and Mariah hatch a plan. Phyllis sounds the alarm about Sharon, who dreams of Daniel dying. Victor confronts Audra about her betrayal, and a former couple makes love. And Phyllis propositions Billy, and we see Kyle and Claire share a kiss.
Mm.
All right, so where you want to start?
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we can. Well, let's get the depressing stuff out the way.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess we can get the Sharon storyline, the Cameron Kirsten shirt that we see for 2 months now. I saw a lot of stuff over social media, and I understand some people are split with this, but I think when I said on Wednesday, it just wasn't a good look for Sharon. Um, and granted, this is her place of business, yes. And granted, I feel like the huge blame should really fall on Daniel for even bringing that girl there to that coffee shop. And this once again just proves that he is just not trying to be. He wants to be her friend so badly and not her parent. I don't know why he's lacking common sense when it comes to his own child and bringing her to Sharon's place of business and then causing that little spiral out of control thing that Sharon did, and also for Lucy to think that she can once again disrespect adults at a coffee shop. Her dad, Sharon, anybody who's there. Like, that's just, he knew better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just unfortunate that happened. It didn't need to happen, actually. Get a coffee maker.
You said get a coffee maker, for God's sakes.
Seriously, like, it's plenty. They have money. They have. I know they have money. Get a coffee maker. Like, you can get a little $10 coffee maker. Get instant coffee. You can buy iced coffee from the store. You don't need to go to Sharon's coffee shop. Mm-hmm. You really don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was a choice.
Yeah, that was a choice. And I saw Monday, September 16th episode, and Daniel is just, he's an idiot. I mean, oof. For anybody, and I know Jenna, I don't know if Jenna's in, oh yeah, Jenna's in the chat. Hey, Jenna. I know sometimes she get to see it ahead of time too. Daniel is, he's, I don't know if I want to say aiding or not coddling. What's the word? You know the word when you kind of not really openly co-sign behavior, but you
enabling.
Enabling. There you go. Perfectly. I couldn't think of that word. He's enabling this because on Monday, he's all about trying to coddle to Lucy's feelings, so much so that Heather and him get into a whole argument.
I saw that, and at the beginning of the episode, like, he's scared to even like approach his daughter, like, just she locked herself in her room, and this is your house.
Exactly.
If it was me growing up, I remember I had I think I shouted something at my mom, and I had closed the door, and she was like, "Look, you better open up this door, or we'll take the door off the hinges."
Exactly.
I was like, I couldn't. There's a certain generation of people who just could not get away with the stuff that Lucy's getting away with.
I mean, she's basically putting them in the kids' position, and she's trying to control everybody in that house. Whether it's through emotions, manipulations, being disrespectful, she's using every tactic in the book to not have to deal with what she did with. She did horrible things. The drinking, the sneaking out, the lying, and things like that. And they still want to coddle and enable this girl, especially Daniel. Heather is like, look, we got to figure something out. But that whole...
And she was...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. She was trying to get the girl out the country for a minute.
Yeah, and I mean, that whole thing that happened at the coffee house earlier this week, I mean, Sharon tried to walk away. I went back and I rewatched that. And I'm like, let me see. Did I miss something? Because, at the same time, I kind of want to give the right review to it, right? And so I went back and I looked at this thing, and I'm like, Sharon tried to walk away from her at least 3 to 4 times. And then, would you excuse me, Lucy? I mean, she kept her voice low for the longest time. And then, of course, Lucy was wanting to do what she wanted to do, told her father to back down. And then when Daniel jumped in it, then, of course, Sharon went off. That screaming about throwing Cassie in her face, she was talking to Daniel. But all of that could have been avoided. I mean, the same thing on my. He comes into the Crimson Lights on Monday for a glass of ice water. You mean to tell me you can't go to Society or the GCAC to get some ice water? Go to your refrigerator and get some ice water.
He had a whole apartment with water and ice. There is no excuse. None. He had ice water at his own house.
And the thing is, Sharon want to split his wig right now. Literally. Because she's having thoughts of trying to take this man out, and not in a good way.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. It was either going to be Lucy, but I guess it's Daniel. I mean, same family tree.
Yeah. And then, go ahead.
But an ice water?
Yeah. He goes over to Crimson Lights on Monday and says, just give me a glass of ice water. And I'm like, dude, at least if you're trying to get away from Heather, you could went to Society or the GCAC to sit down and get some ice water. Why you got to come to Sharon's coffee house? You're asking for it. And I said, if Sharon ended up putting a wrench to his head, it's your own fault.
Yep. I highly agree with that. I mean, who is just, once again, clinically dumb people on both shows? This made no sense. And this man is like literally walking on eggshells in his own house with his own child.
Thank you.
My family, and like I said, every family is going to be different. I'm just going to speak for my own. My family would never do this.
Jenna says she think it's going to be both Daniel and Phyllis. Do you think Sharon going to take Phyllis out too?
I feel it would be Daniel and or Lucy, because she feels a way. She wants to protect Faith from Lucy, and at the same time, she feels a way about Daniel being alive and her daughter being unalived. Mm-hmm. So it's either going to be and or Daniel and Lucy.
And then remember we also had the conversation with Lucy coming over. Faith coming over to the house talking to Lucy, and she was like, "Look, I'm telling you, we can't do this. We're in 2 different time periods in our life. I got to go back to school. You need to figure out what you need to do for yourself. And by the way, go get some help for the drinking."
Yeah, she should have been and done this. And I honestly feel a part of this kind of falls on Faith too, because instead of going to that park that night, she should have called that girl's parents and say, this is where she's at and this is what's going on with her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But she wanted to play, once again, everyone wants to be this girl's friend, knowing right from wrong, and knowing that this girl is acting out of control. But you want this girl to lean on to you as a friend. No, she needs grown-ups to help steer her in the right direction. There's just no excuse for it. Faith knew better. And she was listening to her mom, who she knows is not in her right frame of mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you're going to go to the park anyway.
So here's a comment from LaShanta. She says, from what I understand, Daniel was passed out drunk on the back seat. Cassie drove the car, so how is he the blame?
I think...
because Cassie was the one that took the car underage, and she was trying to do this to, I guess, be friends with Daniel instead of, I don't remember a lot of the details about that.
I do.
Okay, so was he about to drive home or something, and that's why she drove? Go ahead.
She wanted to drive him home. She showed up at a place that she had no business being at. She wanted to rescue him because she really liked him, and she thought, I guess it will get her cool points, but he was passed out in the back. Mm-hmm. So I understand why they would feel that he is to blame, because he was the motivation for Cassie getting that car anyway. But once again, he never called that girl for help. He told this girl to back off and leave him alone, but she wasn't going to listen. Sound familiar with Lucy? And it's just an unfortunate situation. I think it's just the people involved. The parents are going to feel away, like, oh, if it wasn't for Daniel being drunk, she wouldn't have a need to get in the car to drive him. Like, there's a lot of different layers, and Sharon is going to feel the way that she wants to feel regarding to losing her child, and of course that's perfectly fine, and she's going to feel some resentment about her daughter being gone and him still being able to live, and even though he was the reason why she got in that car in the first place, even though he never asked her to do it. So there's just different things that people are going to feel a different way about this scenario, but that is what happened. He was in the back seat and she was underage trying to drive him, not knowing any better.
Yeah, I mean, because she wasn't even supposed to be at that party, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm. She was the same age as Lucy, and Daniel was the same age as Faith, and they're doing the same exact storyline. They're just kind of remix it. This girl really has a crush on Faith.
So, yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Was this a situation of, her maybe trying to figure out her feelings or something, or she has this, I don't know, it just seemed like a weird obsession to just be wanting to be good friends, like, BFFs or one of your girlfriends or something like that. It just seemed like it's something deeper with that.
At first, when she was going over to Sharon's house with like a present, a gift for Faith, like I was like, oh, maybe she wanted to really be friends with this girl. But then after that episode, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember, where Faith went over to that house, the things that Lucy said was like a girl who got her heart broken by her crush.
Right. And she was like, what about our connection? And I got girlfriends, and I know you probably do too, Bree, and I'm just saying, this is not taking us to a whole different conversation, because I don't want to go down that path, but we got a connection. I mean, I'm cool with you and Keish and all that. I don't know. It's just something about, I mean, it's just something about how she said that. Don't you see our connection? And I'm like, so I don't know. It's weird.
And this is a teenage girl. She's not going to know her feelings. She's, hormonal and developing, and she's, she's experiencing a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. So this crush thing is something that could pass, but once again, if only she had adults who wanted to steer her in the right direction and let her know what boundaries are, that she shouldn't be, hanging out with somebody that's older than her. But
let me ask you a question, Bree, since you remember that Cassie Daniel thing. Did Cassie have a romantic type crush toward Daniel?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, if they're mirroring, is it possible that this is the same situation here?
Without a doubt, for me. Okay. I don't know how everyone in the chat feels, but for me, without a doubt, the way she got upset at Faith, like, it's one thing to like not have like someone that you look up to, not want to be your friend, but the fact that she's like, oh my God, we had a connection, I thought it was this. There's a lot of passion and
intensity.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. A lot of intensity to be this girl's friend and giving her gifts, and I think I said this in a group chat. I honestly feel that concert thing was like a date for her.
Yeah, because I mean, she blew off her dad. Those are the type of things that you would normally like, Dad, I don't want to go, but can I, this boy or this girl or whoever.
Exactly.
I want to take them instead and, hang out with them. And then she was really nervous that night, so she started drinking to relax the nerves. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
I'm wondering as this storyline continues, will it reveal later down the line what Lucy's intentions are?
Yeah, and the fact that she just has it, and also the thing that she said to Sharon, she didn't believe Sharon when she said like, "Oh, you're making her uncomfortable. You're making her feel this." She's like, "No, I don't believe you." Just the way that she says it, just comes off as like a girl with a really heavy crush on somebody.
Now Jenna says that Daniel is caught up in his own too caught. Wait a minute. Daniel is too caught up in his own guilt to see what Lucy's going through. What do you think?
Which guilt? Guilt over Cassie or guilt over him kind of leaving his daughter hanging when he was dealing with his own issues? Or a mix of both?
I'm thinking she means the Cassie situation.
Okay. But my thing about that is, and that's also the thing I have about Sharon, that's been what, almost 20 years?
Yeah, it's been a
And
while.
Daniel has been in and out of that city. Lives there, so like she's not going to escape the Romalatis. It's just not going to happen. Plus, Phyllis and Sharon, they share the same baby father, and Lucy and Faith share Summer, so they're not going to go away. There's ties to. They have ties in Genoa City, so a lot of, and she was mentally stable to move on and move forward with her life. It's just the fact that everything is amplified now that she is off of her meds. I don't believe Mariah when she said like, oh, she's taking her meds. That woman is off of her meds. For her to be fantasizing and thinking about doing that stuff to Daniel, there's just no way. But this woman is not seeing her therapist. She like her bipolar. Oh, well, I don't want to diagnose her, but there's a lot of stuff that she's mentally unstable now. So a lot of the things are triggering up that stuff about Cassie. Because prior to that, she had moved on and made peace with it, and she was always like, whenever it was Cassie's birthday, she would go to the grave and like think of the memories and put flowers on it, and she moved on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I will tell you this much. You did see Monday's episode then, right?
Yes, I was like, I had 10 minutes left.
Well, did you see what Heather told him about when Daniel said he had family there?
Yeah.
And she said, well, where was your family at when we were going through all this stuff?
Mm.
I was
I was
like, you
like,
go, Heather.
yes. And it seems like Heather is trying to be the stable one,
Mm-hmm.
the clear-minded one, the rational one in all of this. And I honestly agree with her. Taking that girl out of the city for a moment to go see her grandfather, which I don't think that's a bad thing. Get different location, different perspective, and it will also give Sharon and Faith and her family some breathing room. I don't see why that was a bad idea, but for whatever reason, Daniel felt that it did, because you're not running away from your issues. You're trying to give breathing room between for your family and for Sharon's family.
Yeah. And my thing is, oh, and I found something very interesting. So I don't know if you noticed, but Harrison is back in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't these two in school?
Right.
I
That's a
mean,
great question.
Faith should have went back to college, and Lucy should be in class right now. Why aren't Harrison and went back to school? And I think even Katie did too.
Yeah, but even Connor's not in school. Like, what? Where? There's only one school. They all go to Walnut Grove.
I mean, but even with Faith, she goes to the University of Michigan. Most colleges start in August. And so for her, to still be here. Maybe she's hanging around a little bit longer, but they keep saying school's going to start soon. But then we hear Harrison and Connor and Katie going to school already. And I'm like, why aren't these two in school? Maybe that'll alleviate some of this if you send these two to school.
And didn't Lily tell Jack that that Maddie was in grad school and she just went there?
Exactly.
So I really don't know. Like, this is, yeah.
Yeah, but then Harrison don't go to boarding school. Harrison goes to Walnut Grove.
Walnut Grove something. Walnut Grove Elementary or K through 12. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Claire has been taking Harrison to school, and I know the elementary and high school start after colleges do. Some of them start at the same time. So I'm like, look, just send these kids off to school, and then it'll be over with. Because once Faith go back to school, what is Lucy gonna do? She's gonna have to just back off because, I mean, unless you're going to the University of Michigan with her, which that ain't gonna fly.
Yeah. Unless she's like a genius and, graduated high school early, but no. I don't really understand why Daniel, didn't want to send this girl to Portugal. Like, what's good? Like, I would love to go to Portugal. I'm like, Heather, we can go.
Girl, she threatened. And see, Lucy's manipulative. She's telling them if we decide to go off to Portugal, I'm running away from home. Okay, you know what? See, back in the day, if you did that, they would dare you. We're gonna cut your phone off. Don't think about taking anything out of my house.
Yeah.
Let's see how far you get. And usually in about an hour or two, they come back home knocking on the door.
Yeah. There's just...
She's manipulating them.
Yeah, she is. And Daniel's allowing that and just walking on eggshells, letting this girl just slam doors, lock the door, and she being disrespectful, saying what? I could never...
Ooh, girl.
I could never be like, what do you want? What is this? Like, girl,
my mom and my dad, well, my mom especially, if somebody say what, don't you what me?
Yes, like these kids are some kind of special. Even Will was being disrespectful to his dad.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that too. Mm-hmm.
Like just the level of entitlement of the kids today. I don't know. I just knew I can't get away with it.
Jenna said her parents would have told her, "Let me help you pack."
Because they can only go so far. I mean, they can't get a hotel. They have no way of making money. Like, what are they going to do?
Girl, that's why it's a manipulation tactic. It plays on the emotions of your parents. You know that your parents are not going to want that to happen, that you're going to be sad. And they're like, okay, I'll just tell them I'm going to run away. And then I'll get and do what I want to do. Now, granted, there are kids but they don't normally tell the parents they're running away. They just do it.
Yeah.
But her saying that to them, she could have ran away a long time ago if she really, truly wanted to run away.
See, this is where Phyllis needs to step in as grandma because she needs to help both her son and her grandchild out. Mm-hmm. Because the ways Phyllis pops off at other people for talking back to her or disrespecting her, let's see Lucy get away with it with Phyllis.
Girl, Summer was always remember Summer was acting a fool with this whole custody battle every time Phyllis tried to give her good advice. You're taking Kyle's side. And what did she do? She backed down.
But that's a different thing, though. Different circumstance. Because keep in mind, she's trying to make up for what she put her daughter and even Daniel through by making her think that she was unalive. So she was trying to kind of do what Daniel's doing with Lucy, trying to walk on the eggshells and try to make amends that sort of way. But when Summer was acting up, yeah, she got on that girl. She needs to bring that same energy for Lucy.
But the problem with that, Bree, is that she's not going to do it because she don't want to make Daniel mad. So Phyllis will also be tiptoeing around Daniel.
Well, that's a good point. Because the thing is, she ain't even around her grandchild to begin with. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, I get what you're saying if she take that Phyllis energy and put her foot down with Lucy. But Phyllis ain't going to do that because she's trying, like you said, she's trying to keep her kids happy because of what happened last year. And Daniel came right to that table. Oh, I need you to stay out of this, Mom. And of course, Phyllis want to do something. And then what does she do? Nothing. She started talking about getting a job with Billy this week. So.
Oh my goodness. She had all that energy for Harrison to be super grandma for Harrison. Here you got an out of control team because Lucy is out of control. Yeah. Granted, she's being a teenager, but this is taking things to another level when you go into establishments and stealing and drinking alcohol. It's a whole other playing field. And they cannot walk on eggshells.
Yeah, let's shift it a little bit because we got to talk about Sharon and then we got to get these other storylines. I didn't like what Sharon did at the hotel at the GCAC. Heather and Phyllis was minding their own business. Sharon saw them walking in and she bulldozed herself right over there and started yelling at the two of them.
Yeah, and this is once again the question for Sharon. Like, she cannot expect for people to not live their lives. Because they've been living in that city for however long, especially Phyllis. They share a baby father together. Like, there's just no way of getting around that. But this is, and she was used to that prior to her being this unstable. And her lashing out was just further proof that this woman is not on her meds, Mariah.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. She saw ibuprofen, right? But when she got back to meet up with Nicholas and Faith, she said, oh yeah, she's taking her meds. Why would you do that?
Right. Like, what's the point of lying and saying that? And that's the thing. We never got to see a scene with her going to the medicine cabinet to confirm that she was taking her meds. I mean, we know that she's not. Look how she's acting. And on top of that, this woman has said a few weeks ago, I don't want to take my meds. I want to just feel how I'm feeling and get through it that way.
Yep. So.
And the fact, and I don't understand why Nick had Mariah go do that. Because didn't Faith, and I think someone said in the chat, didn't Faith tell Nick that Sharon is seeing people or seeing things?
Yeah, he brings it up on Monday too.
So I'm like, at this point, she's not on her meds. This is, once again, clinically dumb people.
Yeah, well, we'll see because she is, she got some ideas about things that she wants to do.
Yes, and I'm like, my goodness, this is just, I don't understand what the direction they want to go in with this. Are they trying to say they're about to end one of these characters?
Well, whatever happens is probably on Tuesday because Sharon does something when it comes to Daniel on Tuesday. By Thursday, she's trying to cover her tracks. And then on Friday, she's being caught in a lie about something. So, I don't know what Sharon is going to do on Tuesday, but I don't see Daniel anywhere in the rest of those spoilers. That don't mean he's gone, but I'm wondering what did she do? Because she's trying to lure him on Monday over to talk over in that room back there. So I don't know if she planned, and she has a plan which her and Cameron Kirsten has been conversing with in her head. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. Let's find out that Sharon was able to build a cage, a 6-foot cage by herself, and then put Daniel in it.
I mean, but see, why? This is what I don't understand with Daniel. That whole argument that you guys are going to see on Monday, Heather was totally in the right to say, look, we need to put some distance, take a little bit of time away. We don't even have a job. We need to go somewhere where we can find work. We got bills to pay,
Yeah.
And he's like, and Lucy is arguing with her mom. And she's like, Daniel, can you back me up? He's like, why do I need to back you up when I agree with Lucy? I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like, Heather, when did you get back with this man?
That's what I said. I said, Heather need to kick his butt to the curb.
Yeah, like, I see why she left the first time.
And then you do something stupid to go right over into Sharon's place again. You just had a whole altercation in there in Tuesday or Wednesday's episode, and then you go right back over there for a glass of ice water.
And you got water at your house. Better yet, there was probably other establishments that had ice water. You could have went to a gas station to get you some ice water.
Just dumb. And that's why I'm like, you know what, Daniel? I don't know what Sharon got planned for you, but you put yourself in this environment.
Mm-hmm. Pulling a Steffy.
Oh my God. Okay, let's move on because we got a ton of other storylines. We spent almost 40 minutes on Sharon and Lucy, which is fine because I think 2 of the 5 days was about them, right?
About 3 of the 5 days.
3 of the 5 days, yep. All right, we got to talk about your girl, Lily.
That's not my girl. That couldn't be my friend. I don't think she would be accepting of any honesty I would give her. Clinically dumb. You're feeding this man all this information. You have like nothing in writing. Nothing in writing confirming that you have a job secured. But you want to commit corporate espionage because she said that she didn't take the money from her position. She said keep it, and she said she's going to fight it. So technically her job is her job still. So you're committing corporate espionage, feeding this information to this man.
Yeah.
And you have nothing in writing confirming that you're going to have that job.
And that man lied to her face. And technically, well, you know what? I won't say that. I think it's a play on words. Because she said, well, do we have a deal? Are you going to accept my offer? And he said, we got a deal. But the thing is, the deal in his head is to make her, COO or work under Nikki or something like that, right?
Yeah, she wants to keep her current position or whatever position she has.
I'm talking about what Victor wants, though, is to make her under Nikki, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she didn't get it in writing. She could have said, can we record this? Can I get it in writing? She just took his word for it because it was Victor and he said it. He wouldn't lie to me. Not me. I'm Lily Winters. He wouldn't lie to me. He really respects Neil.
And he be throwing that in her face and she eats it up. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of times where Neil's been fired like Michael was fired, and Neil had to grovel to get under Victor's good graces, and Neil having to prove himself. Like, Lily and Devon are going to have to learn. They really both, they're going to have to learn. Victor doesn't respect anybody. Like, if you do a good job, he respects you for doing good work. And he does not care about this girl personally. Mm-mm. Because he was even questioning this girl's loyalty. And he said, hey, if she's not loyal to him, then he's going to treat her elsewise. So she about to get the whole Audra treatment. Like, unless you're family, because he's not even loyal to his family, which they know that.
You know what? At
But
least I can say with, I mean, even Audra, I know that she's doing something stupid herself. But Lily and Devon, they've been knowing Victor for years. They know what he's
yeah,
doing. And you know what they say about the definition of insanity, just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Now, granted, this is her first time working with Victor, but you've seen things happen to people in his family, you've seen things happen to people in your family, and vice versa, and yet you still think that he's not going to do this to me.
and Nate tried to warn
Mm-hmm.
them both. And low key, even Abby did. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
know what happened with Abby and how she's always mistreated within her own family. And there's been numerous of things that's happened in that city that they know Victor was the cause of, but they want to kiss the feet that, and how the way he walks on this earth. They want to be up underneath this man ever so badly, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just dumb. I mean, it's like, Lily, are you thinking straight? And here's the thing, I've said this about Victor many times when it comes to Kyle, when it came to Nate. Victor watches how you two start out. You know how you say how you start out is usually how you end? One thing
Mm-hmm.
about Victor, if he knows that you will betray somebody else, he's never going to trust you because he think if you betray them, who's to say you won't betray me?
Exactly. Exactly. And just the fact that they know all of this. And the fact that they hold everybody else to a higher standard. But when it comes to Victor, like, oh, he could do no wrong. He's a powerful Victor Newman. They like, Devon can't wait to be his son-in-law. Like, this is insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how Neil was treated, knowing how Nate was treated, and Devon knows exactly how Abby was treated, how Victor treated his whole family, even Nikki.
Mm-hmm. And they just still act brand new as if to say, let me get in line. You know, I know what happened to all of the other people that, work with Victor, but maybe it won't happen to me. I'm that special snowflake. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. So I can't wait for her to fall on her face
Mm-hmm.
because she was absolutely stupid to commit corporate espionage. That's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And feed this man this information. Like, you are dumb. Absolutely dumb for
What
that.
What did you think about Devon's response to Nate and Audra when Nate was saying, we're seeing each other?
I think he wanted to laugh because I was laughing because I'm like, Nate, like, you guys, like, if we're going off of, like, you guys are seeing each other. Well, technically, look, Devon and Audra, they're looking right at each other. They're seeing each other. That girl does not care to have any commitment to you except for what you do in the bedroom. That
Mm-hmm.
is it. She
Mm-hmm.
is all for what you guys do in the bedroom. Anything outside of that, she does not want a relationship.
Well, one thing they did in the bedroom was in that picture on the lower bottom down there. Even though we got a half a scene, it's like, y'all, come on. I don't know. Maybe it's some new rules or something that they created or shifted in regards to not giving us full romance scenes. I mean, they gave us a full scene with Chelsea and Adam, but it's like,
Right. They were up against the wall on the bed, like turning around, and like it was all extra passionate. I thought at least with this go around with Nate and Audra, we get a little bit of something, even though I don't care to see them together. But like, this boring. Like, what are they doing with these soaps?
mm-hmm. I mean, and then we had Chance who decided to quit this week because Billy wouldn't give him co-CEO.
I think he always wanted to quit.
He need to be
Uh,
a cop.
they had no cops on this show.
Nope.
Who was protecting and serving on this show? Paul is gone. And that is it. And Victor, he has to micromanage his security team, handing them the evidence, telling him what to do. Like, you would have thought he would be a chief of police.
Right.
But Chance is a cop. He likes to be a hero and protect people. He was never a businessman, ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why and we were saying that back when they did all of this. It's like, why would we make him a business guy over leaving him as the chief of police? So yeah, I'm hoping that he don't go back on recurring status being, maybe going back to law enforcement, because that means that we can't see him as much.
Or, I mean, eventually somebody's going to commit a crime.
Yeah.
And
probably Sharon.
Exactly. And he going to arrest his ex-girlfriend.
Sharon, you're under arrest, and not in a good way.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That might be what I can see that. Like, if she gets herself caught up in something and he's back to being like chief of police, he has to arrest his girlfriend. And then Summer is going, yeah, I can see this.
Mm-hmm.
I can see this happening. Yep. But yeah, that's where his strong suit is. And plus, if they're not bringing back Paul, Paul hasn't been back like in a couple of years. They need some police officers there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same thing we were saying about Nate, but Nate is starting to kind of fit the mold of a businessman, even though he's a doctor. And I miss him as a doctor.
I miss him. I like him as a doctor too. I mean, we don't have any doctors in town.
Yeah, because Elena is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Please bring her over to the gates. But it's just, he looked good in his suit. I will say that Chance looks good in a suit. Mm-hmm. It would just be nice if they just allow us a scene where he's unbuttoning his shirt and like just, making coffee or like reading a newspaper. And, we would like to see that part of Chance too. But,
Mm-hmm.
You get the suit and tie, and he was like in the business world for like a couple of months. So, I mean, it was a change of pace for him, but he's a cop.
Yep.
That's where his heart is.
Yep. And they should have left him there. Okay. Still on Billy. Billy broke up with Chelsea, and Sally broke up with Adam completely, and they're done. And we had Connor, another kid, getting involved in grown folks' business this week. And I'm like, how about you just stay in your lane? I get it that you're wondering what your parents' relationship life is like, but once they was like, oh, we got grown folk stuff going on, he kept going. Well, I don't see him bringing you flowers and giving you coffee every morning. I'm like, really, Connor?
I mean, like, I understand the concern.
Mm-hmm.
But, your mom said, hey, they're taking a break. Leave it as that.
Exactly.
Because there's certain things that just shouldn't really be explained to a child like that. Like, if they're on a break, they're trying to work things out, to stay in a child's place. And she's focused on you trying, going, getting through your OCD. Let mommy be mommy. If that's what they want to focus on, is for you to get better. Leave it as that. These kids has got a lot of questions.
Well, they act like they're on the same level with their parents. You know what I'm saying? So they're, especially at his age. I mean, Lucy, of course, is 14, but Connor's like what? 11 maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't owe you an explanation of what's going on in our romantic life. If it doesn't affect you directly, it's none of your business.
Yeah. And plus, at that age, I never really cared. Like, I was.
We used to be like, ew. You see your parents kiss, and it's like, ew, okay. But just to sit down and like, well, why aren't they doing this? And what happened to this? And it's like, boy, I know my... my grandparents and parents were like, if you don't get out of grown folks' business.
Right. That
Mm-hmm.
used to be a saying that meant something. Nowadays, these kids are like, they hear that and they laugh and they chuckle and they still go back to asking the same questions. Like, what?
Mm-hmm. Like Kimberly Smith in the chat, she said these kids act like they're adults, and then the adults are acting like kids.
Without question. And I'm like, there's just certain things I just could not get away with it. But I mean,
Mm-mm, me either.
I
Mm.
blame these parents.
Yep. They try to be their friends when they need to be parents. That's the thing. I mean, it's nice to see, be able to, hey, let's go out to eat. I'm taking the kids out for dinner. We're going to an amusement park, but there's a boundary between a parent and a child that has to be established, or else those kids are going to think that, oh, I can't take you seriously because hey, we're almost like BFFs. That usually don't work, and that's what's happening with Daniel and Lucy.
Exactly. I highly agree. And I would say, out of all the kids, like, Faith knew her place when it
Yep.
came to her parents. I'm going to give that girl that credit. And she grew up to be a very, decent young lady.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know what's going on with these other kids. Like, just.
Yeah, I mean, even a situation like Paris just brought up Monday, where Claire asked Victoria and Cole what were they doing upstairs. I'm grown and I don't ask my parents about their sex lives.
Yeah, it's just not interesting for me. But.
It's like, and Kyle had me rolling. He took his drink and he was like, "Oh, this is awkward."
Like, adults are allowed to be adults and kids need to stay in their place.
Yeah, and I mean, even adult kids, there's still a boundary that I respect when it comes to my parents, and they're in their 70s. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to overstep that boundary just because I'm an adult either.
Yeah, I'm not going to walk on eggshells for some kids that I'm raising. I'm paying for it. I'm raising. They underneath my roof. Like, what am I explaining?
Mm-hmm. They
Unless
did
I'm
not.
getting married.
Yeah, they didn't owe Connor an explanation. They don't. I mean, I don't have to sit up here and discuss why we're on a break. It's none of your
Yeah,
business. It doesn't affect you. You're not the problem here. This is something that I'm. And then we even had Billy decide to take a L in this situation in the conversation with Connor. He ain't had
and
nothing to do with the break. Well, he broke up because they cheated, but he was like, "Well, I'm a selfish man, and I just hey." And I'm like, "God, dog, all of this because this boy want to know what's going on in these grown folks' business."
and I kind of respect what he did because, like, he's looking out for that kid. He doesn't want that kid to self harm himself or blame himself. Like, I understand him eating that. But Adam and Chelsea they have to figure out how to maneuver around with their kid and what he is allowed to know and what he shouldn't know, and let that be effective without affecting his OCD. They have to figure that out. But I do appreciate that Billy was like, look, I'll go ahead and take the L for right now, and let that be. If that gives that child peace, like, I do respect that. But they Adam and Chelsea can't just allow his kid to just question a lot of different things like that. Certain things are just not meant for kids to know unless they're getting married and that person's going to be a significant part of their lives. Then okay. But if they're just dating, boyfriend and girlfriend, and still trying to figure it out, like, that boy don't need to know that.
Right. And I get what everybody is saying. I think he did a good thing by having a conversation, but it extended this far because Connor kept pushing the issue. And so, I mean, if he said, "Hey, I'm gonna miss you hanging around. Can we still hang around?" I know, and he tried to do his best, but when it came to find out who did what to who, I'm like, why? Now, see, if Connor said, "Hey, I'm gonna miss hanging around. Can we still spend some time together?" Cool. But the reason that Billy had to make up that whole thing is because Connor was trying to figure out who did what to who.
And he was like, "Did you hurt my mom? Did you do this?"
Yeah, what did you do, Billy? I'm like, who are you talking to?
Yeah. These kids, these 2024 kids. Woo.
I mean, we got to talk about Will later, how he talked to Bill. And I'm like, God, we couldn't get away with that.
Nothing. But I honestly was surprised that Billy broke up with Chelsea. I thought it's the way that he kept like trying to protect this woman. Maybe he was trying to protect her feelings or keep her from self-harming herself. Because she's not mentally stable herself. But I was surprised that he did that. But that's understandable. Like,
he can't deal with the fact that it was Adam. That's his problem. He don't want to come behind Adam, and it's like you already came behind Adam. What are you talking about? I mean, that girl was in a whole marriage, had a whole kid come out of her from Adam, and and I get it, it happened at one time, but I'm like, both Sally and Billy, they can miss me with all this sanctimonious BS, because everybody know what my thoughts is about that whole thing with Sally, but even with Billy, how did you start out with Chelsea? You cheated on Lily.
Yeah, and he's a cheater, pumpkin eater. All he has done is cheated. The amount of times he's cheated on Victoria, like the fact that he was crying and upset at the bar. I'm like, good, you need to eat that. Like, it's finally catching up to you. And Sally, the nerve of her saying, like, I deserve better.
Girl, that's why I'm like, you know what? Y'all just go y'all separate ways. Bye, Sally. Adam, you go your separate way. Chelsea, too. But it looked like, based on the previews for next week, now we still got this boy in grown folks' business trying to put his parents back together.
Oh my goodness. Like, it makes sense for Connor to do it, but like when Thomas and Steffy were trying to do this, like I can see Connor's still underneath these grown folks' household still, but when you got overly grown children trying to do this, then that's questionable.
Yeah, very questionable. Okay, moving on, and then we got the situation with Billy and Phyllis as they talking about jobs. So I'm liking the fact, based on what we see for next week, that look like Phyllis is going to be the new COO of Abbott Chancellor. I'm interested in this. She hasn't had a job since she owned the Grand Phoenix.
No, actually, no. She had a job when Daniel gave her a job, so she can try to like make payments for like the stuff that she did when she was claiming that she was unalive. She had to pay, I think, restitution or something like that. So she was working underneath her son, and that's why she was saying to Billy that she felt it was beneath her because of her experience. And I'm curious about this too. I'm surprised that she even wants to work with Billy after he slept with her daughter.
Well, maybe she forgive him or something. I don't know. I just think that this is a meaty storyline. That whole thing put her on the back burner when she was working over at Chancellor. We never seen her working. We heard that she was working, but we never seen it. And when she was running the Grand Phoenix, she was looking at the computer. She was running the place, greeting folks, and I'm looking forward to her having a meaty storyline where she's the COO of something, I don't know how long it's going to last. I think it's a good idea because, number one, she's an IT person. This AI company, this Odyssey 7 that Lily gave away the information to Victor about, is an AI company that she can really streamline. Because remember, Victor and Lily think that Odyssey 7 is a bad deal. And if Phyllis can take Odyssey 7 and turn it around because she's an IT genius and make
Yep.
this thing work for Abbott Chancellor, I would be here for that.
And it makes me wonder if Victor will actually get control. If they add Phyllis in and she catches on to what Victor's doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then find out that Lily committed corporate espionage, that's going to kind of stop Victor in his tracks. I don't think that he's going to take over right away. I think Billy might actually get a W having Phyllis by his side.
Now, Jill is coming back, from what I understand, on the fall previews. So I'm wondering how Jill is going to feel about Phyllis working as the COO. Because, I mean, obviously she wanted Chance there, but Chance quit because he wanted to be co-CEO. But what type of dynamic is this going to create when Jill comes back?
I mean, Phyllis is no different from Lily. They're just employees. Like, they.
But I mean, I'm talking about the working dynamic, whether or not she would be okay with this business move that they're trying to make. If she's going to be on board, if it's to save the company, or is she just, because I know her and Phyllis don't get along. So I'm kind of wondering what she would think about this choice that Billy makes.
I mean, it would kind of fall on Jill because she gave that man power to do whatever he wants with that company, pretty much.
That's true. So that's going to be interesting. I'm actually liking if they can actually one up both Victor and Lily.
Yep.
Especially if she used her IT skills to make this AI company a huge success, because they think it's a big flop.
Yeah, and this shows that Lily doesn't have experience in that area.
Nope.
And here's the other caveat, if he loses to Phyllis and Billy, Lily's going to get that wrath from Victor and say, like, well, I changed my mind, I take the deal away, I take everything away. Then she's going to fall flat on her face.
That's what she get.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Jill, I would assume that Jill would be pissed with her too, because whatever faith that she had in her, even though it wasn't enough to give her the power that she gave Billy, she's still gonna be like, this is what you do? You went and told a corporate secret to Victor because you mad with my son.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So yeah, she's gonna be on the losing end on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I agree, Paris. She said, I wonder if Jill is gonna go off on Lily. Well, I hope she gonna catch it from all ends.
Yep, and then she gonna do what her brother been telling her to do. Go work over at Winters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her father's legacy. She's so worried about Victor's legacy, Catherine's legacy, everybody else's legacy, but her daddy's.
Exactly. That's crazy to me. We had a lot of romance. Not a lot, but we got to see some glimpses of some romance. We saw a kiss between Kyle and Claire. We got a little bit of heat between Audra and Nate, and I guess whatever you want to call it, between Cole and Victoria.
Yeah, Shaggy and Daphne. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting that. Like, can someone explain to me why Victor feels he can dictate who's able to date who?
Oh, girl, that was crazy when Cole was like, you telling me I can't go with you? Why do I feel like you treat me like a 16-year-old?
Which is exactly what he was doing. Like, they have a grown child together.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
like,
Cole got to be in his 50s, didn't he? Right, he got to be in his 50s.
And so, and Victoria's pushing 50, or if she's not 50, and she has grown children. Like, you're. See, this is the other thing too. Like, there's kids who stay in grown folks' business, and you got a lot of parents in grown folks' business too.
Exactly. I'm looking at Victor like, Are you serious right now? That man is, like you say, in his 50s, and it's like you say, Victoria is pushing 50, and you trying to tell them, I thought I told you to stay away from my daughter. Man, if you don't get your big. And the thing is, they turn around, leave, go get something to eat, and go to bed. Sorry, Victor, that didn't work.
Yeah, like because it's not even a threat. Like you're not going to tell a grown person what to do. Like mind your business, sir. He's just emotional and just feel he got an opinion about any and everything. He wants to like micromanage everything.
Girl, wait a minute. Who is that? Oh, Delmonica called them Shaggy and Daphne.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly who they are. And Scooby Dooby Doo. I mean, good for them. But it didn't seem like she wanted anybody to know that she was with Shaggy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though she has a whole house that she could have got it on with this man at, she chose to go to a public hotel where anybody can see her.
People were saying that their interaction was robotic. Or kind of awkward.
It definitely was. I mean, it hasn't been, how long has it been since she was with Nate? What, about almost a year now?
Almost a year, yeah.
So it's been a while. So she was trying to clean some pipes. I get that. But and the thing is, when she was with Nate, she didn't mind who knew about her and Nate. She even wanted to get caught. She didn't care if he was with Elena or anybody. Like, she didn't care. But with Shaggy, she was like, oh, we got to keep this a secret. Why? That's the father of your child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know why she want to keep that a secret. And this man is leaving Oxford, quitting Oxford to come back to move to Genoa City. I'm like, why?
And that look on her face, she was like, okay. She was like, okay, maybe we should keep this, quiet. Like, are you sure? You want to do, like, girl?
Mm-hmm.
I wish he'd just say it was for Claire, but he's really doing this for Victoria.
Of course. Of course. And the thing is, you still tied into the Newman family, which, yeah, anytime you were dating one of them daughters or the sons or whatever, you're going to have to deal with Victor.
And that's always a joy as he keeps getting like threats about dating his grown daughter with two grown children. Mm-hmm. Two grown children, because Reed is grown as well. Like this, Victor needs a hobby outside of trying to take over other people's lives. And he was even trying to influence that whole conversation with Diane and Kyle too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta give it to the writers of screwing this whole thing up. That's another storyline that's all over the place. Can we just hurry up and have Kyle and Claire and Victor and not Victor and Jack and Diane fix this whole situation? I'm just over all of that, and especially with Diane. It was about me in that part. I had to agree with Kyle on that part, even though Kyle is an entitled brat who's disrespectful. Yeah. But she's like, why you gotta move out? Because grown adults with kids move out their mom and daddy house. That's why.
That was a non-argument. Like you don't want to have like some more alone time with your own husband. Let him have his own household. Let him call the shots in his own house. Kyle is in his 30s and he has a child. This man been through divorces. He wants to have his own space. Why are you fighting that? There's some parents who would love to kick their kids out and can't.
I mean, this man is trying to be responsible. He's looking to buy a house. Move him and his son in there. The custody thing has been settled. That happened on the Monday episode. So we had a cordial moment between Summer and Kyle. If the man want to move out into his own house, let him. And she making it about, but why? This is the home that you've always known. Okay. Grown
Okay.
folks grow up and move out their mom and daddy house.
And plus, if he's been living there all his life, he probably tired of living there. He know he can go there on the holidays. He's not moving out of the country. He moved out of the country. He was with Summer and Harrison out of the country, so he's not a stranger to living outside of that house.
Exactly. Hey, Trish.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Trish.
Good evening.
We're talking about your favorite person.
Which one?
Diane.
Diane. I should have guessed.
What did you think about that? About what she was telling Kyle in the park? Did it sound more like me, and some whining?
The only thing she did was say I and my and me.
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong? I just finished it a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I could understand a part of what we were just talking about with Kyle saying he want to move out, and she talking about this the house you've grown up in and always known, and he was like, yeah, but grown people grow up and move out.
Exactly.
So she needs to take several seats. Now I don't know if I'm okay with Victor coming and interloping in that conversation though.
No.
No.
He just wants to he's really playing chess. He is really trying to bulldoze through the Abbott family. He wants to make sure that Jack's world is falling apart. His brother's not doing well. He wants to make sure that he doesn't have a relationship with his son. He wants to make sure Diane doesn't have a relationship with his son. He's really trying to bulldoze to that family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something else.
So yeah, Diane got to realize that she's gonna have to take a step back, and she keep rehashing this whole situation, and I get it. She's wondering if her past has an impact. Obviously it does, but Kyle is like, do we have to keep talking about this every time? So, I mean, at this point, she's just going to have to take a step back and let the chips fall where they may. And if that means that Kyle is going to fall on his face, then so be it.
Yeah. He asked for it. And this is kind of like another situation, like the whole Daniel Lucy thing, where certain things just need a breather. You know, Kyle wants some breathing room from what he's dealing with his family. And then, the absence makes the heart grow fonder. He's going to eventually miss his family. The holidays are around the corner. Just like, girl, just give this young boy, this young man a break. He wants to, walk around his own house in his own boxers. He wants to have women coming over. He don't want to have to tiptoe around his family. He lived there all of his life.
Mm-hmm. And then if him and Claire decides to get it in, he can always send Harrison over to y'all house so he can have his house to himself.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, there was a time whenever, the whole family was like dynastic, right? Families lived with each other, multi-generation and everything. And sometimes that does still happen today, but it is often like elderly parents and their children, like when you're in maybe your 50s or 60s and they're in their 80s or 90s or what have you. It usually doesn't happen when your child is still younger, although more young people are staying in homes until, they get enough money to know for sure they can afford housing now. But in that show, it's kind of funny because it's supposed to be the Abbott family home, and every time someone comes in there, they ask Jack permission to live there.
Right. Mm-hmm. Even Tracy and Ashley. Y'all have equal ownership of that house, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I thought.
Like, you're just my brother, you're not my daddy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. That whole thing is just weird. And to me, if Kyle want to move out, let him move out. He is way overgrown. He's been married a couple times, and now he got a whole kid. It's like, if he want to move, let him go.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, there's some parents who want to gladly kick their kids out.
Right. There's a lot of those.
All right. Did you have anything before we go to bold? Because I know we covered a lot in this hour and 15 minutes.
Oh no, I'm sure you guys said everything that I would have that I would have said. I'm sure I can't add any value there.
Well, I do have a question. What did you think about
Okay.
Sharon and Lucy?
Okay. Lucy had some nerve saying Cassie's name like that. Her attitude is horrific, and Sharon went a little harsh on a 14-year-old. Is she 14? I mean, I get why she did it, but if I was the kid's parent, I would have taken issue with it.
So
What did y'all say?
Lucy 14 going on 34.
That is true.
yeah, the thing is though, when Sharon started yelling, it was when Daniel said something to her. So she pretty much for probably about 95% of that conversation. Number one, we was talking about this earlier. Sharon tried to walk away like 3 times. She was like, "Can you please excuse me?" And
That's true.
Lucy was still pushing for this
Mm-hmm.
conversation, and then pushed her when her dad was trying to get her up out of there. He was trying to, she stopped him, and then she said what she wanted to say,
Mm-hmm.
and it went left at the point where Daniel said something to her, and then she was like, "You can't just Cassie in my face," and I'm like, "Oh Lord, y'all got to get
That
out of
was
here,
hardcore. Yeah, get away from her. Leave her alone.
leave her alone." But Daniel keep coming back to Crimson Lights. He's asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
He's asking. Because, yeah, you check out Monday's episode, you'll see what I'm talking about, Trish.
Yeah, I had to work late. I just finished the episodes for today. I am so sorry I was late.
Oh, no problem. But yeah, when you get a chance to see Monday the 16th, Daniel ain't learned nothing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Hey Bree, how many people in the chat, girlie?
We got 131.
Nice. Okay, so make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Also, make sure you follow us on other platforms, IG, TikTok, and we got the Facebook group. I think I did put the link. I'll drop the link again if you haven't. I don't know I guess it'll pop up eventually. Hold on, let me see. Okay, there we go. Oh, at least I thought I popped it up in there. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. And then without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and we'll give the summary for the bold and the beautiful. Hold on one second. And then we'll break down the storylines. Alrighty. Bold. Oh, wrong one. Okay, here we go. Alright, so Bold and Beautiful for the week of the 9th through the 13th. Poppy pays an emotional visit to Steffy, and Will is grilling Katie on her feelings for Bill. Deacon joins the Forrester party for Steffy, and Zende learns the truth about his night with Luna. Steffy warns Hope to stay away from Finn, and Will pushes for a reunion of his parents. Katie and Poppy come face to face, and Taylor issues a dire warning regarding Hope. And Bill makes a move with Katie, and Hope is giving terrible news. Where y'all want to start? Y'all want to start with Katie and...
I'm with that. That's fine.
Okay. Alright, or wait a minute, you know what? Let's go to the beginning of the week, because we got the whole situation where Poppy comes in, because that aftermath of Luna was last Friday. So on Monday, we had we had Poppy come into Steffy and Finn's place trying to make that heartfelt apology. I guess we could start from there. What y'all think?
I felt bad for Poppy.
Me too. I felt that was just... I felt bad when they shooed her off, because she was just trying to be respectful.
Oh yeah, who was that? Was that Ridge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was mainly Reg, and then Taylor chimed in, and then Finn chimed in. I'm like, that's your aunt. She's just she's going through stuff too. Like, she just got out of jail.
Right? And lost her daughter. I mean, literally.
Yeah. I mean, she pretty much, unless they call themselves redeeming Luna, she got a life sentence on this one. And some, probably. But I did like that moment, and the fact that we saw Lee supporting her.
Finally.
Yeah, well, she's been supporting her. She's the only one who's been going to visit her in jail. It wasn't Bill.
That's true.
Yep. But the fact that, especially the conversation between Bill and Poppy, where Poppy is like, I love you, but I think we need to put a little bit of distance, and she decides to move in with her sister. And, Lee was like, you know what, the girl is devastated. I mean, she lost her daughter. My heart breaks for her. So Lee gave her a place to stay with her.
It'll be good for her.
Yeah. Even though she said a little slide comment about Poppy, I was still very proud about how Lee has really turned a whole new leaf. She's a whole different person, which I think she's always loved her sister. I just don't think that she loved her ways, which happens with siblings. Like, you want the best for them, and if you help them out and they're still doing wrong, like, you can feel away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she stood by her sister's side more than her man did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that girl is still telling this man how much she loves him, and he is definitely not reciprocating.
No.
Nope.
See, that's what I keep saying. He never loved her. He loved the fact that he had Luna. He loved the fact that he got to be like a dad again, to have a daughter again, and she just happened to be Luna's mom, and he just cared for her. He welcomed them in.
I think he was attracted to her, but I don't think there was ever any, like, real love. Keish!
Oh, Keish in there?
Hi, y'all.
Hey, Keish.
Wait, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hey.
Hi, guys, ladies.
So what you got on this whole situation with Poppy and Lee? And Bill and Poppy.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
I said, what do you have on the situation with Bill and Poppy and Lee when they went over the steps?
Oh. So when they went, I feel bad for Poppy because she's a victim of her own daughter. And I was hoping that she would have gotten a little bit of a warmer reception, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I know Steffy had, just gotten home or whatever, but I don't know. I just felt like everybody was cold to her, especially Ridge. The tone of voice that Ridge had with her. I was happy that Taylor said what she said to her, basically telling her not to blame herself, like her daughter is an adult. She made her own choices. I just would have liked to have seen somebody hug her or something. Somebody other than her sister, of course. To kind of like reassure her that they don't blame her for what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Finn didn't even hug her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for her. Mm-hmm. But I love to see that her and Lee are working on their relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, what did you think about Poppy and Bill, the conversation?
I'm glad that she's the one that made the decision to move out of Bill's house. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, I feel like they kind of turned the tides a little bit with that relationship, where it seemed like in the beginning Bill was the one doing the chasing and Poppy wasn't really giving him the time of day.
Right?
Yep. And then all of a sudden it turned into Poppy, falling in love with Bill, telling Bill that she loves him. Bill obviously doesn't reciprocate that. and it's almost as if it basically Poppy is the one that has all this love and affection for Bill, and I feel like Bill is just kind of there. It's like, I don't know. As soon as Katie started coming back around, it's like I see what they're doing now. So I just didn't want to. I don't want to see Poppy beg for Bill to stay with her. I hope that if when they break up, that it's mutual, or that it's Poppy that realizes that maybe Bill's heart isn't in the relationship the way hers is, and she just needs to let it go. Like, I don't want to see her begging or trying to fight Katie for him, because we know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No fighting for a man.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that you can tell the energy difference when Bill had the conversation with Poppy and when he has the conversation with Katie. I mean, he's just gushing over Katie right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just kind of like, all this time, Katie has not seemed interested in Bill like that. And then all of a sudden, she's like poking around in his business again, trying to protect Bill. And it's just, I don't know, it's so predictable and annoying.
And he is a deer in headlights whenever he speaks with Poppy. Every time she says, "I love you," he just is staring off into space.
Yeah,
like,
he stares at him.
Yeah, like he got 2 pine cones in his head, or 2 acorns in his head, tumbleweeds, everything. He don't know what to say. But he, without anything being prompted, he's okay with saying, "I love you" to Katie. Like, "Katie, I always loved you. I always did this.
Yeah.
You're my everything. You're the only person who gets me."
And even when he had Luna and Poppy move in, which they didn't ask for, by the way, Bill was the one that insisted that they move in with him.
Right.
I didn't like how he still allowed Katie to just pop up whenever she felt like it. And it's like, I get that which Will wasn't even home at this point. Will is still living out of country or out of the state, wherever he was at. So you have no reason to just pop up at Bill's house. I don't care if you are the father of his child, but Bill allowed her to do it. So it's like he clearly didn't respect Poppy's position in his life, because you allow your ex-wife to just pop up over your house whenever she wants to, unannounced, and act like she still lives there, or act like she still controls, who Bill can communicate with, or who he's involved with, or has some type of say over the house or the estate or whatever. So there's no way I'm living with my boyfriend and your ex-wife just pops up at the house that I'm living at now. You don't live there anymore, and acting like she still owns the place.
Yeah. And the fact that
she even told Poppy that. I'm sorry, she even told Poppy that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brie.
And Poppy kept going to Bill, saying, like, "Hey, like, why is she coming over like this? Like, this is our home. We're trying to, like, have a bond with you." And when all this, when she was getting accused by Katie about unaliving those 2 men, he was just like, "Oh, okay, it's okay. Katie's just protecting me. It's fine. Like, I believe you, but, just ignore it, Katie. Like, it's fine." This woman went to jail because of Katie.
Right.
Yeah.
And he didn't even bother to get a lawyer, try to get involved with, like, the police. Nothing. He just let that woman sit there.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically, like, questioning whether or not she did it. It wasn't until everything came out that he tried to go to the jail, and he had a kind of like a change of heart
At the 11th hour.
Yeah, acting like he believed her the whole time, talking about, I knew it wasn't you. I knew you couldn't do something like this. Well, you weren't acting like that 2 days ago.
Exactly.
And had Katie had been in that jail, he would have moved heaven and earth to get her out.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yep. All right.
Can I just say real quick? Man, don't say it first. Those 3 little words. Don't say it first.
And she kept saying it too.
Over and over.
Wait a minute. Who y'all talking about?
Poppy.
Poppy saying I love you to Bill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, girl, if you saw the conversation that he was having with Katie, I don't think you would be, you'd be saying the same thing.
No.
Well, the thing is she overheard that one conversation at Forrester Creations of him telling Katie that, basically saying that she was the love of his life or whatever it was he was saying.
Yeah, that's right.
So he was holding her. Yeah.
Always be my Katie. I mean, you'll always be my Katie.
Oh Lord, Trish. Yeah, I don't know. I wish they could keep them around for something, but I don't see this happening unless they're going to create a triangle between these two. But she's going to look pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the triangle would have only been interesting if Bill had fallen in love with Poppy as well.
Right.
And had some deep feelings for her. But now it's just like,
yeah, she's going to look real pathetic if she continued to pursue, because she made it clear to Katie, don't get it twisted, but I'm still in love with him. And Katie was looking like, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
I feel for you, girl. Yeah.
And she gave like a very bland, I feel like a fake apology. Like she really didn't apologize. And it killed me as Poppy was like trying to stop her from even taking accountability. That woman put you in jail.
She did, and I don't know. I saw it a little bit differently. I saw it as she was embarrassed.
Who? Which one? Poppy or
Katie?
Katie was embarrassed.
I saw it as Katie was embarrassed.
More than apologetic?
I thought that's kind of the take I got.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, she should be. She was going around passing misinformation without she thought one thing because of the pieces that Luna set up and put in motion, but it was still all circumstantial.
Yeah, she was happy to be the town crier.
I know, right? But then we got to talk about Will, because Will is talking out of two sides of his neck. So one moment he's saying, I don't want to be a matchmaker because of all the bad things my dad has done. But then he turned around and had all that stuff to say when he was sitting on that couch across from them at the house. And then he gets in front of Liam, and then Liam is like, well, do you want your parents back together? And oh no. Which one is it, Will?
If it makes her happy. I would bet he could make her happy again.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you just reiterated all the stuff, like he did all these horrible things. Why do you want that for your mother?
Right.
Yeah, but he tried to chin check Bill, and I'm like, man.
Like he really screwed it up.
Yeah, these kids was cutting up this week on both shows. Connor, Lucy, and now Will.
Lucy.
Oh yeah, Keish. Did you say what you needed to say about Luce and Sharon? I know that was a hot topic this week.
Oh yeah, I didn't feel sorry for Lucy. Is it okay to yell at somebody else's kid the way Sharon did? No. However, I don't feel sorry for Lucy because that little girl's hard-headed. She obviously has some type of obsession or something going on with Faith, because even Faith telling her, like, you make me uncomfortable. I'm a lot older than you. You need friends your own age, and Lucy still isn't. It's like it's not clicking.
So, Keish, what did you think about the part when Lucy was like, "We have a connection. Don't you feel that we have a connection?" What?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were saying. We were trying to figure that energy out.
Yeah. Like if she has a crush on her, or is it just like she's just obsessed with the fact that Faith is an older friend, college friend, or something like that?
We were comparing it because the situation with Daniel and Cassie was the fact that Cassie had a crush on Daniel.
Yeah, that's true.
And if they're mirroring the situation, and of course we're now in 2024, are they trying to go down a similar type of path, but with Lucy and Faith? You know what I mean?
It could be that. It could also be that she's, oftentimes when you have someone that's older than you and you really look up to them and you just want so badly to be part of their lives, you can act out and it doesn't make sense because, they don't want you in their life. And it's almost like even your older siblings that are just that much older than you and they just don't want you around,
But,
You're too young.
Trish, I think it was that writing of that part when Lucy was talking about their connection. That
Oh,
just
yeah, what
don't
was that?
vibe. Yeah, that don't vibe with just friend. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it that way. That I guess it is possible that she's got a crush.
Maybe so. I mean, definitely have a love connection with my best friend.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just a love connect. Like, I love her. She's my sister. She's my best friend. And I absolutely love her. Not in love with her, but I love her. I have a connection with her when we literally finish each other's sentences.
I don't think that Lucy and Faith were like that deep of a friendship.
Definitely not.
I mean, they ran into each other this summer. She wasn't even thinking about Faith last year.
How do you, in Lucy's brain, how do you think that after such a short period of time that you're that close?
Exactly. I don't know. It's just, and Bree and I kind of talked about this with Bree was talking about the concert. Maybe she looked at it as a date. The jewelry, buying her gifts. And all these different things, and then how spazzed out she was about not being able to see her and talk to her, and I don't know.
Delmonica says girl crush ? And I think that's it.
I don't know what that is, but go ahead.
It's more than that. This is romantic feeling. This girl was heartbroken that her crush didn't like her back. That's how I view it. There's a lot of emotions, especially at that park. The fact that girl was so heartbroken and she went and stole from an establishment and was drinking and exceeded the legal limits. Like, that's more than just a friendship for her.
Yeah, I mean, that was it really intense, so I don't know. I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts since you all wasn't on the call at that time, and I know that was a big chunk of the Young and the Restless week. I think 2-3 days this week was about Sharon, Faith, and Lucy and Daniel and all that stuff. So I just wanted to get y'all take on it. Okay, we gotta get back to bowl. We had a conversation with Liam and Finn, and it's like, why did he have to go up there? Now, I know he wanted to thank Finn for saving Steffy, and Finn was like, okay, that's my wife. What did you expect me to do?
I mean, send him a fruit basket.
Liam's so mad he can't save nobody. No one's calling out his name. No one's picking up the bat signal.
Breathe. That is so true.
I mean, he gets hurt more than he can save people. I mean, there's a whole video string out there, and I think I posted on my channel where he's running into running into tables, getting knocked out. I mean, who you gonna save? You need to save yourself, Liam.
He just mad that none of the women that was all over him have a use for him anymore. Steffy don't care for him. Hope hasn't even mentioned the name Liam, and he wants to get back under Steffy's good graces. And he had so many opportunities to try to save him, but Finn beat him to the punch. Liam had the gall to sit here and say, like, well, whenever Steffy is in trouble, I always feel I had to step up. No, you're not with her no more. She got a whole husband.
I was so confused by that statement from him. Like, was he trying to be shady to Finn because he was saying Finn wasn't stepping up, or Like, where did that come from?
He's so cute. Go ahead, Trish. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. No worries. So what I think he was doing was like saying out loud to himself and then saying he didn't need to do that. Like he knew Finn could do that now. So I think he's so lost right now because like you said, he has nobody to save. Where does he focus? Where is he putting his energy?
Going up to people's jobs, bothering them.
Yeah.
Would this not have been a good time for them? Because he told Finn that the last time he was in his office when he found out about that kiss, that he was going to talk to Hope. This would have been a perfect opportunity to put him and Hope in a scene together, and him asking her basically like, "What the hell is wrong with you? What's going on with you?" There's somebody you can save right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a good point because when Liam confronted Finn before Steffy was kidnapped, he said that he was going to go over to Force Decorations to talk to Hope about that. And that never happened.
Nope.
Or was off screen.
Or right, but we even never got the back context on that, where maybe Hope said, "Oh, Liam came over here and was asking me about the kids." We got nothing. All we got was him saying he was going to talk to her, but that was it.
Yeah.
So.
And I was thinking that when Liam was in his office this week, that he was going to mention it or apologize to Finn for accusing him of leading Hope on. But after he talked to Hope, he realized that he didn't, and that Hope, is just has lost her mind, basically.
I know, right?
Okay, I just have to say that top that Hope is wearing, I love the style of that top.
The button up in the front?
The one in the bottom two pictures that Hope is wearing?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of cut in so that's such a cool cut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is cute.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
She's actually worn that outfit before, so I remember because I really like that top too.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got to talk about this Forrester party for Steph and all of the fakeness that was going on.
Yeah, there was a lot of butter in that room.
Like, Steffi, you look great. Like, you look like you never had gone through what you've gone through. You look fantastic. Look at your hair. Like, thank God you had Finn by your side. Like, this fake. Y'all do not care like that.
No.
Mm-mm.
And my whole thing was, why was Hope there?
Right.
After what she had done, only I guess several days prior to that, why would she be invited to that? And even if she was invited, I wouldn't even go if I was her. Like, I wouldn't show up to this party after I've planted this unprovoked, unwelcome kiss on this married man. Ridge knows, Taylor knows. I don't know who else in that room may have known. RJ knows.
Everybody knows.
Like, are you not ashamed of what you've done? Like, would you not be embarrassed to be in that room pretending to be happy for Steffi and Finn? It just didn't make any sense whatsoever. And then even when Steffi she had said something to Hope. I don't think it was just her and Hope talking. It was like a group of them. And Hope had asked a question about, the incident or whatever. She just had a normal tone of voice with her, like everything was all good. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Right.
Yeah. I think everyone would know at this point that, because they had to know why Steffi left in the first place, or why she was about to leave in the first place. So I would assume everyone knows that Hope had kissed Finn, but I agree with you. But unfortunately, Eric's GCAC is also the Logan Hub station, so they were all going to be there anyway, except for Katie, I guess. But I would be embarrassed, but I guess at the end of this today's episode, she's not embarrassed.
Yeah.
So. Well, she once again feels entitled to be there.
Mm-hmm. And then what about the conversation between her and Finn? I'm surprised he was able to stand there and have that conversation after everything was happening.
I was annoyed with that because why are you standing there listening to this woman talk?
Walk away.
You shouldn't have anything to say to her. She don't have nothing to say to you.
And he had a smile on his face after.
Just cheesing.
I don't know if I'd say he was cheesing. He smirked when she said something about he was a, what did she say? That he was a real hero for saving Steffy or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take that as him cheesing at her or being happy to talk to her. To me, it looked like he was, I don't know, it was an uncomfortable smile like, yeah, thank you.
Get very uncomfortable. Like, you know how, I mean, we've all been there where someone that we know doesn't like us tries to give us a compliment and we're like, yeah, okay. And he knows better than to just take what Hope's saying. I mean, Hope is obviously finding an excuse to speak to him directly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but at the same time, both Brooke and Taylor was eyeballing that whole conversation.
The whole thing.
Sure they were. I would have been too if I was Taylor.
I'm surprised Steffy didn't see it, but I think Steffy was in that conversation at the same time with RJ, Zende, and Brooke.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they did that. And Brooke did owe Zende an apology, even though some people thought it was a little weak, which it was.
Yes.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Because she was about to send that boy to Forster, Antarctica.
Yep.
Yeah. And then she, just like Katie, they don't ever really say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Brooke was like, I was just defending my son. Like, we all were duped. You were duped. And then she gave him a hug. I'm like,
yeah. Those are the kind of hugs where if someone gives you that kind of hug, your arms stay at your side, like that uncomfortable, why are you hugging? Why are you touching me?
Now, I gotta give Steph props on the fact that she pulled him in the corner and had this conversation and didn't put it out there in front of the entire group.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the people that was in that group are the only people that knew about this situation. Nobody else did. Because Ridge don't even know about this.
No.
Right.
You know, so...
And it's good that he didn't.
Mm-hmm. You know, so... We saw Brooke hug it out with Zende. We saw Zende hug it out with RJ. Because them two got into a whole fight.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that scene.
What'd you say?
I said I'll never forget that scene.
Oh, man. So, I mean, it was, I don't know, that whole party, like you say, why was Hope there? And the rest of them were really fake. And, you know, Steph had to clear the air with Zende and RJ, so that was cool.
One more thing. They invited Deacon.
Yeah, so Deacon was there.
Yeah, that was also weird.
They extended an olive branch to Deacon, but they couldn't do that for Poppy? For what she went through?
Yeah, I didn't. That's my thing. Is I would have rather it would have made more sense for Lee and Poppy to be there than any of the Logans and Deacon.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, do you think that maybe Steph owes Sheila an apology?
Nah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to say yes.
Katie did what she did to Poppy and gave her an apology. Sheila, she put that girl in jail for a couple of days because Steffi was adamant that it was her. And Steffi found out for real who it was.
I agree with that. And I think Deacon was trying to motion to try to get someone to say like they're sorry for putting Sheila in jail, but
no. I want someone due to
not after Deacon,
your husband. No,
yeah, never. Not after Deacon actually got Sheila out of jail for what she did.
Yeah,
I don't feel sorry for her.
Not a bit.
Yeah, I feel like Sheila could have apologies. I mean, Steffi could have gave one of those Brooke and Katie apologies, whereas a non-apology. And I mean, like, oh well, she was in jail. That sucks. Like, like a non-apology.
I mean,
Okay, let me
jail.
ask the chat. Hey, so those in the chat, do you think Sheila should have got an apology? Yes or no? Right, yes if you think that Sheila should have got an apology or even a lame one, or no, she don't get nothing. Let me see.
And Rednecks, I'm here. Hi, Rednecks. He was asking today.
Listen, Trish, how you gonna get in there? You got your say already.
I couldn't resist.
You silly. She said no times. What is that? A
gazillion.
Keisha, I said the chat. It's a mixed bag. I see yeses and nos.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tally, but it's going so fast I lost count.
You got some no's, some hell no's, and
yeah.
Okay, well, what about Finn? Because Finn had told Police Baker to lock his mother up, his egg donor up. Let me say that.
He didn't tell her. He said to take her in for questioning. He didn't tell him to lock her up.
That's right.
Okay, well, take her in, and she girl went to jail.
Finn was also a victim of hers that she did not serve any jail time for what she did to them. So no, exactly. I don't care.
I agree.
It's a mixed bag.
She got a crooked judge in her case that allowed her now husband to pay him off or pay him back his favor to get her out of jail for what she did to them. So I don't feel bad for her for sitting in jail for 2 days.
Not it.
Something tells me next week, especially since he's moseying his way to El Giardino.
Oh.
He gonna run into his egg donor, and he gonna give an apology. He gonna simp out and get an apology.
I mean, that's possible. He seems to always circle back around to letting Sheila back in and causing an issue with marriage.
Yeah, well, I see some manipulation going on next week, but well, no, I'm just, and I talked about this in the lunch chat today when we saw that clip where Hope was telling Finn, I don't think we should speak to each other anymore, and he looks kind of lost to me. I think she's gonna stop chasing him and test the strength of how he feels about the friendship with her, and probably try to have him now chase her. So now it's going to be his fault. It's reverse psychology.
Mm-hmm.
If in that moment when she says that to him, he doesn't look at her and say,
good riddance.
I thought I made that clear 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be totally confused about this whole scenario, because he literally had a blow-up argument with his wife about how Steffy was right about Hope, and he should have listened to her, and he should have stayed away from her. So I don't know why he would revert back to thinking that he and Hope are friends again, and that it's okay for him to be friends with her after she's tried to ruin his marriage twice. After she tried coming on to him in that dressing room, after she planted that kiss on him. Why would he think they would be okay to go back to being friends with her again?
Because Bill is stupid.
Like, his wife literally was getting ready to leave the country because she needed a break. He would be a complete idiot to think that the two of them are back to just being friends.
Yeah, well, we'll see how Belle is going to write this one. Because I have a feeling that's what she's going to try. She want that man bad. I mean, after all of this and seeing how Finn saved his wife and all of this type of stuff, that conversation that she had, which we can now move on, with her mom, she is not backing down. She talking about how bad Steffy is and how demanding she is and rude and disrespectful. And, I got to say, there's some things I said about that in the past that, Steffy tended to treat him like a child. But that don't give her the right to go after, somebody else's husband. Now, there's some people in social media that is saying that Steph is being a hypocrite because when when Hope was married to Liam, Steffi was always trying to undermine her marriage. Okay. But I guess right now, the other part of Hope being hypocritical is because she said that she want a one-woman man and she don't want to deal with a man with a divided heart, but yet you're creating a situation to divide a husband's heart.
Yep.
And what I would say to that about when people were saying that Steffi was interfering, Liam allowed it. Finn is not allowing this in his marriage and his relationship with Steffi.
Right.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yep.
So I feel like it's light years different. Liam loved the attention. He loved playing ping pong with both of these women, and these women love being the ball that bounces back.
Yeah. And as far as Steffi being, I don't know, I guess controlling or bossy or treating Finn like a child, like what Hope was saying today about how Steffi likes to dictate people's lives and who they can see and who they can't see. She's saying this as if Finn is fighting for this friendship.
Right.
And she's
as if a wife doesn't have the right to say, you don't get to hang out with that single woman who has hit on you and kissed you.
Exactly.
I have a right to say that. Like, I mean, he wouldn't because I'm me. But no.
So she's acting as if she has not been throwing herself at Finn for the past month.
And as if he didn't say he should have listened to Steffi.
Yeah. So it's like it's like what people have been saying. Hope is completely delusional right now. She's literally whining about not being able. She feels like she's entitled to this friendship with Finn. Mm-hmm. Again, a friendship that so far Finn doesn't seem to be fighting for. No. and if Finn was fighting for this friendship, then I would say that Steffi probably needs to find a new husband, because why are you fighting for a friendship with a woman who has admitted to being attracted to you? And
exactly, Keish. Exactly. Well, and also she said herself when she kissed him and she was telling Brooke, I thought it was great, and then I opened my eyes and saw the look on Finn's face, because she knows the look on his face was of disgust. He was mortified and he was in shock that she did what she did.
And he told her all of that the next day.
All of it. Every word.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not getting through her thick skull to leave this man alone. She is just more. I mean, even when they were at the party, and Steffi and Finn were canoodling with each other, and she was standing over there looking like, man, I wish that was me.
Yeah.
Yep.
He needs to give her some. This is really what this is all about. She was so spoiled by Thomas, and then he left in March, and now she'll know what to do with herself. That's the only other post that's close nearby her, and that she's fixated on. So I mean, she really stuck in her own head about Finn, about her clothing line, about these men wanting her. This is just. She's no different from her mother, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like, at one point, it felt like Brooke was being very reasonable with this whole thing. But then, I feel like this last week or so, it's almost as if she agrees with Hope in that she should be able to be friends with Finn. I mean, she's not saying that, but it's like what I was saying in our chat. When she talks to Hope about this, all she is saying to Hope is that you can't have feelings for Finn. You need to put Finn out of your mind. Like, you need to get over these feelings. You need to stop, having these feelings. You can't fall in love with him, blah, blah, blah. But she never tells Hope, you need to stay away from Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need to keep your distance. If you can't control your feelings for him, then you need to keep your distance. So all these times that she complains about how, even today, when she was complaining about how Steffi is trying to dictate her and Finn's life because she, has warned her about being around her husband, Brooke doesn't say Steffy is right. You shouldn't be around Finn because you have feelings for him. Why would you want to be around him if your goal is to get over these feelings?
Yeah, but did you also hear Brooke turn around and say that Steffy was being insecure?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
that pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm like, Brooke, what do you mean insecure? She's reacting to what actually happened. Exactly. Not making up something in her head, not assuming that something is going on that she really don't know about. She's reacting because your daughter kissed her husband. And she don't even know the other part about what happened down in that studio because Finn haven't said that.
Exactly. She is setting boundaries.
Yeah, and all the way up to this point, to when she kissed Finn, everything that Steffy has said about, her being uncomfortable with him being friends with Hope had to do with Sheila. It had nothing to do with her thinking that Hope was going to, try to take her husband from her.
Exactly.
Right.
It had nothing to do with anything romantic. It was all about the influence where Sheila was concerned, which that's still on Finn. Like, he's a grown man. She can't influence him one way or the other. But her support of Finn and Sheila's relationship made her uncomfortable because of how she feels about Sheila. It wasn't until this kiss happened that she, it started to be about Hope trying to take her husband from him. So there was no insecurity there. And honestly, I still feel like there's no insecurity. Like you said, T, it's about what Hope did to her husband.
Mm-hmm.
She's reacting to an action that Hope did.
Right.
And I just want to say this. Brooke knew from the beginning her daughter's, feelings or attraction for Finn for past several months.
Right.
So Steffy didn't pull this out of thin air. Brooke knew from the get-go. She's been trying to warn her daughter, don't be like me. Don't be like me. Don't do this. Don't do that. So it's been nothing but a build-up. So she shouldn't be really surprised by Steffy's reaction. And on top of that, prior to Brooke finding out that Hope kissed Finn, she was telling Steffy, you don't have to worry about Hope. We're not coming after your marriage. We're not coming after your family. Why would you have to make a statement like that, Brooke?
Thank you.
Exactly. Now, I want to backtrack. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bree.
I'm sorry. I was going to say it. I'm also sick and tired of this woman acting like she's so offended when people call out Hope's actions and how she's been moving. As thinking that her daughter is untouchable or she's the one that's holier than thou. Because she even said that Steffi's acting holier than thou. Like, how dare you? You of all people.
Exactly. None of that needs to come out of anybody on this show's mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially her.
Now, we also had a conversation between Brooke and Taylor this week. And I know Taylor was coming in there trying to tell Brooke, hey, your daughter is doing this, that, and the third, and you need to stop her. Are you encouraging this? And I was hoping that Brooke would speak up and say, look, I understand what's going on. I've been trying to tell her to stay away from Finn, but Brooke wasn't defending herself in that moment. That part right there, I was like, Brooke, just tell her you are on this, y'all got the same idea.
It's almost as if,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Key.
I was going to say, it's almost as if she didn't want to admit that what Taylor was saying was reasonable and right. Mm-hmm. So instead of just agreeing with Taylor and telling Taylor, like, yeah, I agree with you, this is what I've been telling Hope, she gets defensive.
Right.
And acts like everything is okay and that this isn't a big deal and that Taylor is overreacting.
Just acting offended, and everyone's calling that girl out on the truth. Mm-hmm. Your daughter is acting reckless. She calls herself, I'm not a homewrecker, but she's, taking nothing but steps to try to get that honorary star, just like her mother for years.
Mm-hmm. But this girl is adamant about the fact that Steffi don't appreciate her husband and that in her head she can do a better job than she can.
And that is not her business, and it's just, no, you don't have a say. You're not in the story. You didn't know him before he was involved with Steffy.
Right.
There's no. It's a no. There's no connection. There's nothing. Is there? Nothing is there.
And if she felt that she was better than Steffy, then why was it a struggle to keep Liam all those years?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And then we kind of end up finalizing the week with regards to and see, this is where these spoilers are a trip, because the spoilers said it was going to be Eric, Carter, and Steffy, but it was Ridge, Carter, and Steffy who was going to break the bad news to Hope about her line. And she still want more time. And I'm like, girl, we're headed into the fourth quarter. Your last time with Thomas was at the end of the first quarter. You had 2.5, almost 3 quarters to get this line together, but you were busy fiending and daydreaming and kissing folks' husbands. You couldn't focus on your line. Go get a focus group. Go talk to some folks. What do I need to improve my line? Talk to the old customers to say, hey, why aren't you not buying anymore? But she spent her time chasing a married man.
And cheerleading her mother's fashion line.
Right.
I mean, I just remember when she was drunk at the party, when she was like, and I have the support of the company, right, Steffy?
Right. She sure did say that. You know, and Steffy looking at her like, yeah, sure. But she still think that she need to be given more time, and based on those promo that preview for next week, Brooke is over at Finn trying to tell him to figure out a way to keep Hope's line together, and I'm like, are you serious?
Wow.
She just made a dig at him and Taylor, saying like, oh, we're not making a line of scrubs or stray jackets.
Well, your daughter needs one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So a lot of people were talking about the fact that they had a problem with Finn and Taylor being in the room. And I just want to remind everybody that when Finn came to see Steffy, Hope is the one in that CEO office who brought Finn in on the whole corporate everything by telling him out loud, Steffy is threatening to cut my line, Hope for the future. What do you think about that? I mean, I remember that day, and she was trying everything she could to get sympathy from Finn, and it worked. And Steffy had to say, you need to stay in your lane, Finn. And so if Hope was going to just openly invite him into the corporate world of the business of Hope for the future, then why shouldn't he stay there right then? I mean, of course, it was totally petty and unprofessional, but, you know, you're the one who brought him into the fold to begin with, so what you so worried about now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not him boosting her up and feeding her ego and about her failing line. Now he's about to hear all the hardcore facts. So she can't say that, oh, Steffy is trying to attack the Logans and attack my line, attack my family.
Mean to me.
Yeah, that's why I was happy that Ridge and Carter was there. Ridge primarily. And he needs to be stern and like, look, this is business. And she still don't want to believe the numbers. The numbers is right in front of her face. She still wants more time. Like, I know these are just early projections, but this isn't the real thing. Like, girl.
A projection is called a projection for a reason.
Yes. Nobody's buying your line. They're selling them on Craigslist now.
Oh, you so silly. I like the fact that the way that this was set up is that Ridge and Carter was the one to break the news, and Steph was just looking at her dad, and I like the fact that Ridge was like, don't worry about it, I got this, because I know what this could look like.
Yep.
And so he was the one saying, and Carter was like, look, hey, we've been trying, it ain't working, and so it wasn't like if Steffi had came out, this would be, oh, Steffi, you just trying to do this to me because of what happened. I kissed your husband. I'm glad Ridge was like, nope, don't say nothing. I got this.
Yeah.
They'll still find a way to blame it on Steffi.
Yeah. Well,
It'll be
look at
Steffi's
Brooke
fault.
next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Brooke is going to say, especially since Ridge put her in an executive position. If she's going to either think for Forrester or think for her daughter, because she can't even deny the numbers either, because she saw those numbers and she was quiet.
You talking about Brooke?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why putting her in a executive position, being co-CEO, was never a good idea, because Brooke is not able to be objective. She can't sit down with her daughter and say, look, Hope, this is how business works, and unfortunately your line is failing, and it's not doing well for the company. It's costing us money.
And the crazy,
my line has to be successful in order to cover your line, and that's not how it should work. Like, she, for whatever reason, is not able to do that with her daughter. She just wants to make excuses for her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They actually pull money out of Brooke's line to support Hope line, and it still ain't working. That's a problem. Terrible. That's a problem. And for Hope to just think that, oh, just because, we're all family here and I'm Hope Logan and you can't just kick my line to the curb, that's not how business work. Facts don't give a darn about your feelings, ma'am.
They do not.
And it's the youth line.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Maybe she ought to team up with Marchetti Z or something. Cause,
No, they like their success over there. There
you go. Yeah. Sally's got better vision than Hope, I think.
Yeah. And that's the part that I don't understand. All the designers that she's been working with are supposed to get her vision, right? So Thomas was the only person who got her vision and was a success for her line. So she's nothing without Thomas.
Basically, and that's what we were saying last year. She's just the face of the line. She's not the creator. Thomas was the creator. All of his inspiration from Screw and Hope came out into his work.
It did.
Late night inspiration.
And so that ties into this fall spoiler that this new man is supposed to be somebody she's going after that's going to help her save her line. So, I mean, it's only two people I can think of that maybe can do that. Carter is one, being COO, and Zende is a designer.
And Zende has been on since the very beginning of Hope for the Future.
That's a shame that you're going to have to screw them to get a better line out of them.
I mean, it almost makes me wish that a woman designer would come on and it would be an adult line and she would call it The Awakening.
Oh.
That's what's expected.
And then Thomas could come back at some point, and because it's a message to him, and there's a whole storyline behind that, you guys.
Now there is, and I was gonna do this as a standalone video, but there is a casting call out for a new, younger female for Bold.
Oh.
I think they said that they've already
casted her. I think.
I thought they did.
Yep.
I'll have to find that article that I read and send it to you guys.
Mm-hmm. And I think she's supposed to be between 20 or 30, right, Keish?
Between 18 and 20.
Okay, so it's like a replacement for Luna?
That's basically.
Yeah. Yeah, but for who? Is this going to be a competition between RJ and Will over this girl?
Yep.
Probably.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, that means they're cousins, right? Yeah.
RJ
and Will are cousins.
Yeah, I guess they are cousins, yeah.
Yeah, because Brooke and Katie are sisters.
Yeah.
So another cousin battle. But at least Zende is out of it. That means he's wide open.
Well, he might be out of that, but he might be in Hope.
Oh, God. Let's see if he inspires some designs out this girl. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the...
Well, according to Luna, I mean...
I mean, that's a great point. I mean, yeah.
Luna
I'm
said it was
surprised.
the best she ever had, so maybe the only other person that can give hope and awakening like Thomas did is Zende.
I'm very surprised and shocked that they just have not allowed the Hope for the Future line to be dropped by now and just moved Hope into the bedroom line.
That's what I was thinking at first. I was, as much as like, because she's very invested in her mother's line.
Mm-hmm.
I figured she would want to be like the face of the bedroom line. That's why I was hoping Thomas would come back to design.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think that Brooke would have maybe brought that suggestion up by now because of how uncomfortable she seemed at first with modeling again.
But I mean, how weird would it be for Hope to take over that line whenever Brooke is the inspiration for Ridge to design, and now Ridge is having Hope model the lingerie?
Yeah.
But Zende is one of the designers too.
Yeah,
that's true.
And maybe Ridge takes a step back and allows Zende to pick up those designs until I guess Thomas comes back.
So
Ridge goes back
would
to
y'all want to
Yeah.
see Zende and Hope together, or Zende and Carter?
Not really.
I mean,
I'd rather
wait a minute, did I say Zende and Carter?
what? Wait, what happened?
I said Zende and Carter. I mean,
Oh goodness. No.
I'm sorry. Oh man, it's been a long day. Carter and Hope, or Zende and Hope?
I'm curious to know what the chat thinks. I would rather her and Zende than to do that to Carter. Carter deserves better.
So I feel like Zende makes more sense because he's a designer.
Mm-hmm.
And they're similar in age.
Yeah, I don't think Carter is that much older than them, though. I'm sure I think he's only in his early 40s.
Right.
Right. But Zende is closer to Hope's age, though.
I feel like Hope and Carter would look better together. Because to me, I'm not saying that she looks a lot older than Zende, but Delon Demetz, I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Delon Demetz.
He looks a lot younger than what he he literally looks like he's 10 years younger than what he is.
Yeah, he's 36.
Yeah, but he looks like.
Oh my gosh! I thought he was in his late 20s.
No, he's 36.
Yeah, because I just happened to look his age up one day because I was just curious to see how far apart in age him and Joshua Hoffman and Lisa Yamato was, and that's when I found out he was in his mid 30s. So to me, he looks their ages look off.
Mm-hmm. That's what they say about Rebecca Buddick too.
Yeah, but it makes Zende would make more sense from the designer aspect. I think her and Carter will look better together though, because they look like they're
in the same age group.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, would he be enough to save her line? The only way he could save it is from a COO point of view.
He didn't have
he would have to, I don't know, maybe she could get him to pull some money from somewhere else, or...
He's not about to risk his job like that.
No, he can't make that decision. He does what he's told. He just adds it up.
Yeah.
But the thing to me is, with that whole thing, I actually don't want to see her with either one of them. They both deserve somebody new and exciting and fresh. And I would prefer actually for her, I mean, I'd rather her get somebody new, or she can just go back to Liam. But if she gets somebody new, I want it to be somebody exciting if Thomas isn't coming back and if they're not going to have them together. I need it to be somebody that is going to continue to keep her pulled up instead of having her revert back to any kind of marmish clothing or any of that stuff.
Marmish.
Y'all know what I'm saying.
You silly.
Yeah, her style completely changed with Thomas for sure.
Yes, it did. Sure. Yes, it did.
It was, and she had no problem wearing the right lingerie. She actually properly seduced a man. Like it was a different energy. I don't know what Thomas did, but I'm like, I can understand why Paris wants to keep that man. Hey, I get it.
I got a question. Do y'all think that Kyle can give that same energy so that Claire can change her clothes too?
I hope so, but I honestly, after, what's the nickname you have for Kyle?
Oh, Johnny Bravo.
Thank you. Ever since then, I just see this caricature. But I'm sure they could make it that, but I don't know, y'all. I don't know. We'll see. I just don't like the whole, again, I know it's a show, but it's the whole cousin thing. Like, there should be a limit. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like I always felt that Kyle and Hope would be perfect because Hope and Summer are pretty much the same person. Except Summer has better style.
You think Hope and Summer are the same?
Yes.
Really?
What?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I do. They both the same. They both the same type of entitlement. Nothing can touch them. They both pretty much the same storyline. They both came up in affairs. They both have adopted sons. Like they both went through divorces, stuff that they caused on their own. Like this, just they're
Summer
very
was
similar.
Way more of a wild child than what Hope ever was.
Yeah.
Hope is catching up.
She is now. Yeah.
I
Hope is just
I think it's the change in the actress. I mean, Hunter King and the energy that the other girl, I forgot her name.
Allison Lanier.
Yeah, Allison Lanier. They're on two different wavelengths. So it seems like I could see where you would be thinking that maybe she comes in the same category as Hope, but when Hunter King, oh no, light.
Yeah, two different. Yeah, I'm talking about Annika and Allison. They kind of act very similarly with their characters. The characters come off very the same, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The little bit of pearl clutching.
What you say, Trish?
There's a little bit of pearl clutching at times, and that, oh, how could you say that to me, or that kind of stuff. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, they both went through the same type of custody battle. Like they have similar storylines.
Yeah.
But I feel somebody like that would be perfect for Hope.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be interesting to find out who the new man is supposed to be when it comes to who's gonna help her save her line. And I don't see any casting for a new guy, so it's got to be somebody that's already on contract.
Do you think they're going to cancel her line on Monday, or do you think they're going to give her a chance?
Well, I don't know. It depends on when, because with those previews we saw with Brooke trying to convince Finn, because the way she was saying, she was like, we got to stop Steffy because she might cancel Hope's line. I don't know when that part is happening. If that's on, they're no longer at the office. They're in his office. So I'm wondering if they're gonna give her maybe a week. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I don't think that's gonna happen on Monday. I could be wrong.
There was something in the spoilers that I saw, not the previews, but like the spoilers from, I don't know if it was Soap Opera Network, one of those soap sites, that said something about Steffy giving Hope
an ultimatum,
a shocking challenge or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious as to what that would be.
What that means.
Well, I mean, there's been all kinds of challenges thrown down over there, so there's nothing new. Let's see it.
She said, let's see it.
Go and tell, baby. Give us a fashion show, please, please.
Let me.
Oh, actually, what if they tell her to find a new designer?
That's on
that's
Tuesday.
the new man.
That's on the 17th. What Keisha's talking about.
That could happen. But honestly, when I heard that she's going to get a new man, I thought it was going to be this Icelandic singer that she's going to have a crush on, and he just pops in, kind of like how they had Ivy just pop in, and
no, he's
like really committal.
Yeah, he's supposed to be doing the whole thing with Brooke's bedroom line.
And that was my other thing. So they dropped Danny already. They got tired of the auto-tune. I said, this is not a good look.
Girl, you so crazy. Okay. All right. Did we cover everything from Bowl this week?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
No.
I'm asking you. You said no, Trish.
No, I said I think so.
Oh, you think so? Because it sounded like you said no.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. All right. So we got to do our last few segments, but Keish, do you want to say? Because I know some people are asking in the chat, but I was waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I won't be on anymore until I come back in April. So it's my last little show.
We love
Just
you,
for a
Keith.
little while.
Yep, be safe.
I will.
Yeah, be safe out there. And what's the hour difference? Because I know when you were in Qatar, you were like, I would chat with you like 3 or 4 in the morning, my time.
7 hours.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, we're 7 hours ahead.
Is that where you're going?
No, not this time.
Not this time. Nope. So,
Safe travels.
Thank you. Yeah, safe travels.
Are you gonna be able to catch the soaps?
Yeah, I'll. It'll probably be I'll be like a day or two behind, most likely, but I'll probably just do it on the weekends, like on my days off. But yeah, I'll be able to watch them. Okay. Because I still watched them when I was out there last time.
Yeah, and Keisha and I will be talking at 3 o'clock, and it'll be 3 here. It's like noon over there where she was, and we'll be talking about the soaps and whatnot. But well, she'll be gone for just 6? That's 6 months, right? Okay, and this is your last one. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow!
And then my girl is getting ready to retire.
Yep. Absolutely phenomenal! Wow.
We appreciate your service. Dewan said our own little Sonia played.
I don't have those kind of skills now.
Well, I am giving you a salute right this moment.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Listen, don't start crying over there now.
I won't.
Yeah, so we appreciate your service, ma'am. We're gonna miss you for these 6 months, but at least by the time you come back, we'll be about 3 to 4 months into the gates.
We will.
Yes. I'm so excited about that.
We're going to have like a night where Keish comes on and just spills out what she thinks about all the gates that she saw until she got back on the podcast and can just go, okay, it started with okay.
Yeah.
We can arrange that.
Dewan said that while you're gone, he'll be the one to defend Steffy until you get back.
I know that's right, Dewan.
You know we've got Steffy's back, girl. She's my girl.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and do our segments. Our flip the script, who's taking several seats, and our star and our pickle of the week. So, for the young and the restless, for your flip, what you got?
Oh man,
I wish Victor would have told Lily the truth that no, you're not going to be CEO. And whether you give me the information or not, I'll get what I need. So you can come on as Nikki's second in command, or you can head out.
What you got, Bree?
I wish Daniel was more stern with his daughter and check her whenever she had an attitude or said what or was disrespectful to both him and Heather.
Yeah.
I wish that nobody hold Heather back. I mean, Daniel tried to hold Heather back when Sharon went off at that house, and then Phyllis tried to hold her back when Sharon went off at that restaurant. I mean, maybe somebody maybe pop her one, and she'll wake up like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Oh, what's happening? I tell you what, man, Heather's in great shape, too.
I mean, that girl was 2 seconds off of snatching one out of her, and I'm like, let her go.
I mean, Her dad is Paul Williams. She tough. She's tough.
I forget that that's her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody got their flips in for Young and the Restless?
Keish.
I couldn't think of one for Young and the Restless. That was a blur this week for them. I can only remember the Lucy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one. I'll throw you one, Keish. I wish we had full love scenes.
Oh, there you go.
Except not with Victoria, not with Victoria and Cole. Mm-mm.
No, but you know who this. It started off so good too, y'all. It was like, oh, here we go. Oh, well, there it's over. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, with Audra. With Audra and Nate. I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut that one off too early.
Yeah, and then on Monday's episode, we see Cole and Victoria in the bed. Okay, whatever. And they're not doing anything. They're done, quote unquote.
Well, y'all, that was the worst. Go on to the bed. There was like, I'm sorry, but that was mannequinish from both.
It was very weird. Yeah,
it was so awkward. It was so awkward.
You talking about Cole and Victoria?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Did they kiss each other on the lips?
The kiss was like their lips didn't move. They were just closed and not even pursed. It was just like if you looked at someone with your normal resting lip face and they had their resting normal lip face and you turned each of your heads the correct direction so that your resting lip face lips could touch each other.
It's like two popsicle sticks.
Yeah, and
I swear it looked like he just had his face on the side of her face and he wasn't really doing anything like kissing her neck. It was just like he was holding his face there like he was hiding his lips or something.
It was nothing there. I don't even know why. I know they want to try to rekindle what they had, but it's just not. And even on the Monday episode when we see them done, quote unquote, she got this look on her face as if she was like, oh yeah, it was good, but she was faking it.
Ew.
Yeah. My thing is if you're not gonna go there with the love scenes, then just don't do love scenes. There's other ways that we can know that they're together without awkward, dry love
Go through the door and just shut the door. And that's the end of the scene. That's all you have to do. We know. If it's going to be bad, I'd rather use my imagination.
Right.
Yeah. But then you can't.
I've never had a bad scene in there.
You can't put somebody like Audra and Nate on screen and just drop it.
Right. Yes. As much as I don't care for those two to be, but she was all over Tucker, all over Kyle. They had no problem doing those love scenes. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened in 2024. They just completely stopped it. The last one we saw was Chelsea and Adam.
Right.
Is there some kind of new rating system or something? Like, what's happening?
No, I mean, they raised Hope and Thomas raised the bar last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
And then they just left us hanging with that, and we like, dang, where's that stuff at?
Right.
I think the last love scene on B&B was RJ and Luna, and after she slept with Zende.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can think of.
Well, we saw Poppy and Bill tried to get into it before Will walked in his bedroom, but that was it.
And then Steffy and Finn barely did something. I mean,
that was that was the beginning of it.
That was their foreplay.
Nothing comparison to Thope.
No.
Thope was Thope was insane.
I don't know who the love scene coordinator was for them, but
it didn't even look like they had one. It was like, okay, here we go.
I just think that's who they just good at what they do with that. I mean, Annika did the same thing in some of the movies that she played too. She just know how to rock out that type of scene, and obviously we saw that when Matt Atkinson played Austin because didn't he take Summer's virginity?
Yep, when Hunter King was playing her. Yep, sure did.
I don't really remember their love scenes though, like how they went.
Yeah,
and he slept with Abby.
Yep, he was always the bad boy, the edgy dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So he brought that edge into the bedroom.
And I gotta. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, you go.
I was gonna say congratulations to Matt Atkinson's wife. Like, we see why you got pregnant a couple.
Listen, I mean,
Awesome.
if Matt brought that same energy we saw on screen to his wife Brittany, yeah, we can see why she's nice, big, and pregnant.
Yeah, because he was just acting with Annika. That real life thing, oof.
And she's due what in another? I think she's due in another month or so. She's getting close.
Oh, wow. Amazing. I read an article years ago when it was, oh my goodness, Victor doing an interview, Eric Braden doing an interview talking about Victor and Nikki's love affair. And actually, Melody Thomas Scott was in the interview as well. And they were talking about, how do you do the love scenes? And he was like, well, I mean, if you really like your partner, you either make sure you brush your teeth or you eat a piece of fruit before the love scene. And Melody laughed and she was like, yeah, that's always a good idea. And then they asked her, well, what about whenever it starts getting really hot and heavy? And she said, well, trust is a really big factor in it. And they asked him and he says, I think it's just, it goes better if you have a willing participant. And I just laughed so hard.
Well, I mean,
she laughed. Love scene.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Bree.
So what are they love scenes now? Do they not like switch years ago?
Right.
I'm wondering, because I mean, obviously the human body, even if mentally you don't have a connection, but when you get involved with that physical touch and things, you got nerve endings. So I know you gotta, that stuff, that's why it looked so real with Thomas and Hope, because they were mentally into it. Now I'm not saying that they were cheating on their partners, but somewhere along the line they had to get into it, because I mean there was biting and scratching and all types of things, and the way that Matt threw her up against the side of that desk and turned her forward. I'm like, God, dog, how do y'all do that? Especially if you're married, engaged, got significant others. I don't know. That would be hard.
Yeah, and there's, people are in the room giving you direction, and there's hot lights on you, and cameras are taking your picture from every angle, and you have to move certain ways so that your body doesn't show that thing that is real for every human being, that is the skin roll when you bend over on your it's on your stomach. It doesn't matter how thin you are, it always is there. I mean, it's just, and too, the thinking from the perspective that you see online a lot of times when people are bashing, it's like that whole, they have to be perfect, it's got to be a lot of pressure.
And you can tell that they, like, even in the way that their bodies are situated, like if you've ever watched Steffy sit on Finn, like, forward, she's not sitting all the way up on him. She's sitting kind of like back towards his knees. Or like when couples are laying in the bed, the guy isn't usually like between their legs. They're like on the side. They're like on the side of them.
And they're wrapped in like two separate sheets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
one thing that I've noticed about a few couples on Wine Arm Bowl, like for instance, they don't use their tongue when they kiss.
Oh no, most don't.
But I know Finn and Steffy do. Like theirs is obvious because you see it.
Watch them soap later.
I just happened to notice that. I just happened to notice it, and then I started paying, for whatever reason, because of that, I started paying attention to like other couples, and there's some that do, and there's some that don't.
So Dope never used tongue?
If you go back and watch some of their scenes, you can, and I remember somebody bringing it up online where they said sometimes it looks awkward when they kiss. And I had noticed that too, and I couldn't nail down what it was. And I'm like, they're not using their tongue. So it's like it's like they tilt their head a certain way.
Uh-huh.
And like the way they always look like they're attacking each other's faces a lot of times when they kiss.
Well,
and I don't know if it's because that's just a way of trying to hide that fact that they're not using their tongue, or what it is. But if you go back and watch their scenes, and you see that they are not using their tongues.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't want to share spit.
I mean, it's still hot regardless, but it was just something that I noticed, and then it made me like pay attention to other people too. I'm like, oh, I wonder how many of them do that, because I didn't notice it at first.
Well, they definitely used teeth, because there was lip biting going on.
Yeah, there was.
There was.
So, all right.
Yeah, I saw that a couple times.
I know,
that was hot.
All right, we got to do the flip for bold. Who going first?
Mine would be Poppy. I wish she had went off on Bill and Katie. Katie, because that woman put her in jail. And said, like, yeah, you do owe me an apology, and I hope you feel sorry about it. And also, I wish she didn't say that she loved Bill. I wish that she had like gone off on Bill and said, hey, like, if you ever cared about me and welcomed me into your home, you should have at least had done something for me if you truly felt that I did not do this. But you let me sit in jail and rot by myself.
What you got, Keish or Trish?
Go ahead, Keish.
My flip would be, I want Brooke to say to Hope, you need to stay away from Finn. I want Brooke to say to Hope, Finn doesn't want you, because she doesn't say that to her either. She just says, you can't go after Steffi's husband. This can be dangerous. He's married. These are basically these are reasons why you can't go after Steffi's husband, because he's married, he's got kids. But she never says you can't go after Steffi's husband because he doesn't want you. So what is the point of you even trying? He's already told you he doesn't want you. And she doesn't say any of that stuff to Hope. She just tells Hope, you need to get over your feelings. You're going to get hurt. It's like she's not being realistic with her daughter, because I think her and Hope still think that she has a chance with Finn.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Redneck said we need to send a shout out to Ivy Rose. She's getting married this week.
Oh,
congratulations.
Congrats, Ivy. Yes, she's one of our supporters, along with the Rednecks fan club. And thank you guys for the 100 likes, too. We got 101 likes on this. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
All right. Awesome. Who else got a flip? Because I know I got a flip. And then
I don't have one yet. Go ahead.
Well, my flip would have been Finn throwing Liam out of his office. Go to work, dude. I mean, why are you here?
Finn is too nice. He's too nice to everybody.
I know. I know. DeJuan said Brooke raised the 304. You're welcome, Rednecks. Yeah, so that's my flip. Before he come up in there tiptoeing, talking about, oh, I'm so happy. You know, I thought I was supposed to be the one to say, dude, get out. I got work to do. Unless you're here to see me for a doctor's appointment, which I will probably recommend another doctor, get out of my office.
Yeah.
All right, what you got, Trish? You ready?
I mean, I guess since this hadn't been talked about yet, with regard to any of this stuff, I think with Bill and Katie, I would have had Katie say, what exactly are you asking me? Because I know you're not asking me if I'm happy.
Gotcha.
Your question's loaded. What is it loaded with? Y'all know what I'm saying, because he's literally he's baiting her to see if she's going to open the door for him.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. Who's taking some seats on the Young and the Restless?
Victor.
Lily.
Oh yeah.
Lily and her espionage.
The Romalatis.
The whole family.
The whole family.
And Sharon need to take a seat and find in her therapist's office. They're gonna check her meds, sit her down, get her together, because Sharon is off the chain right now. Her and Lucy.
In that preview, Sharon is literally talking to the man at a table in her coffee shop.
Yeah, well, she gonna be screaming, and poor Esther is gonna be like, are you okay?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh, and throw Diane in the seat. That boy is grown. Let him get a house and let him be. Let him live his life, please.
Mm-hmm.
Not all about you, Di.
Exactly. Okay, and now everybody got their seats in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Bold.
Hope and her mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hope and her
Yeah. And this fake nice non-apology.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Will in the seat. It's like, who you talking to?
Both sides.
Sheila.
What'd you say, Bree?
I said he's a Logan.
Mm-hmm. He sure
That's
is.
true.
He sure
Through and through.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, our star of the week on Young and the Restless.
I'm gonna say Heather for showing her restraint, because I thought she was just a little BA in that scene.
I'm gonna give it to Sharon Case, because that girl is acting nuttier than a fruitcake, and she is rocking this out. Even though I do not like the storyline.
Same.
Yeah, I'm giving mine to Sharon Case as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Bold star.
Romy Park.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I agree.
100%.
Yep, and I like her little French braids on both sides of her hair. That's how we used to wear them back in the 80s.
Yeah, she looks so pretty that day. I mean, she looks pretty every day, but I really like that hairstyle.
And then I guess her hair is long, so they got it wrapped into a bun in the back of her head. That style is so cute. We used to wear that type of style to school, out to play. That's an old school style back in the day.
It is. I had a homecoming one year where the braids started like you would do almost a single French braid, but started it on the side, and it wrapped around all the way around and then into a bun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Yeah, I like that hairstyle. And I think she tends to wear her hair up a lot because she's a ballet dancer, and the girl can sing opera. Have you heard her?
No.
She just looks like a ballerina. I've not heard her. Does she have a link you could send?
Oh my God. She was actually in her stories on Instagram. I came across it today, and she was singing some parts of some opera songs. Her voice is amazing.
Wow.
Romy Park is very talented.
She is very well rounded in her talent.
How have I never seen her before Bold and the Beautiful? I don't understand.
I mean, this dancing, acting, singing. I mean, it's all. And then she probably could model. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was an opera singer, though. That explains that scream that she did when she saw Will.
Oh, that's so
Oh, yes. I mean, that scream was very high pitched. I was just listening. I'm like, what is she doing? And when she started singing, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So we got to get that started to Romy Park. And Pickle of the Week, Young and the Restless.
Cole.
Ooh. She was quick. Oh.
Was that bad? I never can tell if I go.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I mean, he was using a pickle in this scene, so, you know.
Well, I mean, he was so stiff.
Listen, this is a grown folks show. It's probably almost what,
It's
11
almost
o'clock
10
on the East
Central.
Coast.
Yeah.
And it's a Friday night.
Exactly. This is not something I would say on the midday chat. Okay,
No.
lunchtime.
No.
People trying to keep down their food. But well, you gave him the pickle of the week. But I mean, Nate was giving pickles too. So.
Yeah. I could say something, but I don't want to get banned from the show, so I'm just going to stop.
Group chat.
Group chat, Trish.
What?
Group chat.
Group chat.
Make sure you put it in group chat.
Yeah, because I'm curious now.
Yeah, you the curiosity. You can't hold out.
No, it's coming.
And then who's the pickle of the week for Bold?
For Y&R, I had Lily. For Bold, I'm gonna put the Logans, all of them.
All of them.
Yes, just not apologizing, just being fake, just being just stop.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Liam is my pickle.
Oh yeah.
He's always finding himself in his office.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
All right, did we cover everything? Anybody got anything?
No, this was fun. It was great. Thank you.
All righty, and make sure you drop some hearts in the chat as a send off to our girl Keish out there protecting the world for us, and we'll see her in April.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yep, so other than that, that's all I got, you guys. Stay tuned for the spoilers for this upcoming week of the 16th to the 20th. Time is flying. We're almost in October.
That's crazy.
I mean, it looked like we were trying to, we were talking about earlier this year about February sweeps and all this stuff. Now we're getting ready for November sweeps.
Gosh, November already.
I know, gosh.
Y'all, it was 95 degrees in Houston today.
Girl.
It was hot here too. It got up to 89.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so.
I know.
All right, you guys, we'll end it here. And until then, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm T, and y'all can say what y'all did. We got Bree. Go ahead, you guys.
I'm Bree. Thank you, guys.
I'm Trish.
I'm Keisha.
All right, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.